Are we live?
See.
Good morning, everybody. It is a lovely Wednesday, except it's snowing here in Montreal. What's going on, Poseidon? I'm wearing my boots again today because of the snow.
I don't know, but I just want to talk with whoever's responsible.
Yeah, God. You know what you should do, Poseidon? Get some high-quality meats. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by the lovely people over at Just Meat It. Head over to justmeatit.ca. Links are in the description. Use the promo code COMEDY. Get yourself 10% off your next order. They got bison. They got ostrich. They got elk. They got high-quality meats, so you don't have to go out and hunt yourself, because let's face it, hunting is dangerous, and you're most likely a lazy piece of shit. JustMeatIt.ca. 10% off using the promo code COMEDY. No antibiotics. No growth hormones, no steroids, and these are all Quebec farmers. They're Quebec companies. Support local. JustMeatIt.ca. Having said that, don't forget to head over to patreon.com/Pantelis. Get yourself some exclusive content. Get the podcast early. New French casts are on there, and we just dropped the podcast this morning with Guillaume Dulude, PhD in neuropsychology. Great podcast. You can check it out after this one. We got our man George. We got G-Funk in studio. He's back. He's bringing us the news all the way from the South Shore. He's taking a break off Just Us Dads and a break off the Backstage podcast to give us the nitty-gritty on what's going on in the world. Mr. G-Funk, bring it to us live.
Guys?
We're good. We missed you. We missed you last time.
Sorry, I didn't make it on Friday there. I was actually recording a podcast that will be released this week. I had no choice. It was the date that I was given. I had to choose it. So.
We understand, but if anybody gets the podcast game, it's this crew right here. We feel you.
But it was a fun episode. Basically, it's Dominique Anglade. She's the leader of the Provincial Liberal Party. And we just pretty much spoke about her book. She released a book earlier this year, a month ago, I think. Yeah, end of March. And just talks about her being raised by immigrant parents, evolving in Quebec society, and reaching, where she is now. Pretty cool.
I have no idea who this woman is, but I'm gonna watch the podcast to get to know her.
Yeah, leader of the opposition. You don't follow the fucking news, bro?
No, I'm not entrenched in local politics as I should be. I'm a busy man, sir.
That's okay. That's fine. Guys, it's fucking snowing, man.
Look, I woke. You know what happened? Because so I woke up and I was looking out the window. And I thought I was seeing things. I was like, is it foggy outside? Like, it was all white. I was like, holy shit, what's going on? Why is it so foggy? I don't live in Boston. Like, what's going on? And then I realized, like, oh, son of a bitch, that's snow. The snow's back, son of a bitch. Got my boots ready.
It's crazy. Poseidon, before we went live there, before you came into the studio, he was like, oh, man, I need to speak to someone. Someone's got to make this stop. It's like, someone's on top. They're sprinkling the snow.
I mean, honestly.
Negotiate with it.
Yeah, you got to talk to Trudeau.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'm going to go ahead and blame Legault.
That's it. They blame the politician.
Yeah, I mean, it is the society we live in. Delusion. So, blame someone else. So, G-Funk, what kind of news you bring to the table today?
I wanted to start off lightly. So, and of course, I'm not very knowledgeable about this, so maybe you can tune in here. What is going on with this Super League thing? I read very quickly about it. It seems that it started and before it was finished. I understood that some top clubs wanted to form their own league, but then
I will give it to you quickly. And with the pretense of this, mental patients were angry with me on Twitter a couple of days ago when I said, this is not a danger to football at all. This is not, because they're like, this is going to ruin football. I go, this is not a danger. If anything, this is going to endanger the teams that are joining it. And like, you're talking about, you're fucking retarded. 3 days later, facing backlash, most of those teams had, not only did they lose sponsorships, players, coaches were getting mad. They go, we're going to leave. They're backing out of this. Anyway, don't fuck with me when it comes to this stuff, you fucking reactionary dummies. Listen to Sky Sports.
Why even suggest that they needed another league? I don't understand how this idea even came about when all these teams are already playing at in the Champions League, no?
This would have been an additional league. This is another thing, the misconception. It wasn't there to replace the Champions League. It was there to be an additional when the Champions League is not in play. However, because the top teams would also be in that, people said, well, this is effectively replacing it, right? People would rather watch this, which I don't know why they would think that. It was more akin to the ISS, the International Cup, when they play in the summer and they go in different countries, the best teams. Yeah. It would kind of be like that. It would be a gimmick. Anyways, so they got together and they said they were going to form. The reason they wanted to form a new league is because the way UEFA distributes the money from the TV deals and all that, they keep a huge portion of it. So they said, you know what? We're the ones generating the revenue. Fuck these guys. We're going to do this ourselves. But what people didn't like is that in European soccer, every league you can join that's on the continent, you can, through results, whether it takes 10 years or one, you could make it to it. People were pissed that you couldn't really have a small team ever make the Super League, which again makes sense because it's the Super League and you only want the anyways. But it was supposed to be a side thing. Now they never checked. This is what I told people. We still don't know if this is going to happen, and obviously it's not anymore because they never checked with the coaches or the players. Now the players would have had to play extra games in the season. This would have been additional games in the season, which a season's already packed for a big team. You have your cup, you have your domestic league, and you have your European competitions. So already it was going to get heavy. Plus, they didn't ask the fan. They didn't ask anybody. It's just a couple of owners that were rich. They just got together and decided this. So I knew that it was obvious that this was fucked from Jump Street. But people are reactionary and they started panicking. They said, "We're losing everything. The rich are taking over." Like people don't wait for the ball to drop, you know. Yeah. So they started freaking out. There was a lot of backlash in the news. Sky Sports by UEFA and FIFA, because FIFA then said, if you join this league, we're going to ban players who play in this league from playing in the World Cup or the European Cup.
Why?
Because it's a direct competition of UEFA's competitions and FIFA's, right?
Okay.
So they go, you're doing this on your own, so then we're going to kick you out of all this other stuff. So it was a threat, basically. Like I said, and then as soon as that happened, I go, well, guys, now are they really going to have the best players? Because a lot of good players want to play for the national team. They're not going to play for Manchester United if they're not allowed to play for, I don't know, France or, their own clubs, their own national teams. Anyways, so all this to say that happened. The backlash was so severe, obviously, from the players and the coaches and the fans, that teams started to back out one by one. And as of this morning, the only two teams left are Real Madrid and Barcelona. But I have already announced on Twitter, I have been approached to join the Super League, and I will be joining them this August. I will be facing off against the entire Real Madrid squad. And they're going down
on Twitch.
On Twitch. It's so fucking.
Was it the British clubs that started this, or was it the?
No, it was It was Perez. It was Real Madrid's president. This guy's a well-known cunt. So he started for cash, and even while the teams were leaving, he's like, "Don't worry, we'll replace them. We're still going through with this." And now there's two teams left. Like,
they'll be facing each other.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty much it. On other lighter news, and this too,
how does it get lighter than
on that? I got this email from Apple podcast that they're gonna follow Spotify's trend and start having paid subscriptions.
Yeah, I got it too.
That's pretty cool. Any thoughts on that?
I got the text message about that yesterday. I don't know. Look, we were trying to put 2-drink minimum on OnlyFans, and OnlyFans rejected my account yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see how that's gonna work.
Why'd you go to OnlyFans?
We're gonna have a month, well, not a monthly, but a weekly thing on OnlyFans. If you join the 2-drink minimum OnlyFans, we're gonna send you for $5 every week. Poseidon's gonna send a dick pic, and for $10 we'll stop.
I walked right into that.
But they rejected my application, so now I gotta retry. Anyways, I think it's good for podcasters who don't have, let's say, they haven't set up a Patreon or anything. They could start a subscription model. And they could do it directly through iTunes. I don't know what the take is from iTunes.
30% off the top.
Probably. That's what everyone's taking right now. YouTube's taking 30%.
Standard,
yeah. I mean, me, if you look at everything, I'm losing like 70% because everyone's just taking their cuts. It depends how you want to do it. Now, the only thing is, people shouldn't rush to it. Like if they're new podcasters, they should wait till they establish. Yeah, I'm hearing myself double through Skype. Huh? Yeah, I'm hearing myself. Yeah. So they should wait till they establish like a fan base and then go subscription model. Because if you go subscription model from the beginning, people aren't fucking listening. There's no point.
Sorry, I got dizzy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Chaos.
No, but only we can hear it.
No, I know, but that's why I took off my headphones.
Yeah, no. So
look, it makes sense, but a lot of people who have like Film My Whole type podcasts who don't have a massive following and be like, bruh, this is how I make my money off my 6 listeners. Like that's the mistake. That's the mistake. If
don't go. Yeah, you don't jump into subscribe. That would be crazy. No, you build your fan base, and then people want to support you.
If people won't watch you for free, they're not gonna fucking pay for you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think it's a great option to have. Mm-hmm. It's a very good option to have. Because there are, like, what people have to understand is a lot of stuff, if they're not in the millions, let's say like Rogan, if he wanted to, he didn't need to go to Spotify, but I agree with him. He made the better deal. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. He made the best fucking deal. But he didn't need to because he had such a following that the ad revenue he was getting, he could have done it for free. But most of the creators that you want to support, if you want them to keep doing stuff, you should support them. Are you all right, bro?
What just happened?
Just breaking shit.
I was trying to adjust my mic and the fucking clip went flying.
Yeah. So you like, for example, I like Ab and Preacher shit. So I went, I saw like what they have. So I bought clothes from them. I said like I bought a sweater and a t-shirt. If you want the people that you
stuff
like,
really for you?
yeah, I bought them for me. I bought.
I just mean, are they made for you?
I think they're made by them for them. Fubu. No. I mean, I like them. I like the stuff they got.
I mean,
but
are you the right demographic? Is what I'm asking. To wear those clothes.
I'm a fan of my homies, bro. That's the right demographic.
I love.
But that's what you got to do. You got to, if you like something, you got to support it. Because if it's not a mainstream thing, it can't keep existing if you don't find ways to support it.
Yeah. Side note: deep cut Pantelis universe Easter egg.
Yeah.
Can you remove your mask from your neck? It's really throwing me off. And
It
the
bothers
last time I didn't tell you, you yelled at me for an hour. Remember that?
It's bothering you?
Do you remember that?
No, I yelled.
That's the deep cut.
But last time we did it was
It's an
during
Easter
a
egg.
sketch.
Yeah, it's an Easter egg. You gotta find the mask.
Wait, where's the thing?
Oh, it's on the chair. It's fine. Like you can get it later.
Anyways,
It's not there?
I got it.
Oh. He got it. Thank you, sir.
Anyways, there you go. How's that?
Let's get that satisfying click.
Oh, how's that
So
feel?
good.
I know.
So good.
So, G, did
Stop.
I answer all
No.
your questions about podcasting and about the Super League?
Yeah. Just.
Oh, George is here. What's up, George?
Hey, Phil. Phil.
Hey, Georgie. I heard
let's,
that your
let's
podcast
do
is
our
going to go subscription based now.
Who's yours?
Yours. I heard because I mean, look, I'm sorry, it's not in my budget, so I'm going to have to stop listening.
Let's do our little sweep on the COVID-19 news.
All right.
Not that many things. A few things that were announced. Basically, yesterday's announcement, the premier said that the measures that were put in place for Quebec, the Outaouais, and the Lévis
Are
region,
working.
they will be extended till May 3rd. So the shit is still up in the fan over there. And then this is the weird thing that I'd love to talk to you guys about, because when I heard this, I immediately lost trust in science.
Erectile deficiency.
Was it Bill Nye the Science Guy saying something with his lab coat?
The Quebec's immunization committee recommended to bring down the age requirement for AstraZeneca to 45 years old. I don't know about you guys, but just weeks ago, they had suspended the entire thing for anyone under the age of 55.
Yep.
At the same time, we're hearing that Ontario, Alberta, and Manitoba, they're offering the vaccine to anyone above 40. So I don't know what the hell is going on over here anymore. Like I support science. I'm obviously on that side.
Yeah, but that's not science.
Yeah, that's not science. If you support science, then that's why you don't support this lunacy.
Because when they're testing it and now suddenly they're like, well, yeah, now it's available. It's like, okay, what is right? What you said 3 weeks ago, or what you're saying now, and why would it change?
There's nothing wrong with due diligence. Like a government saying, hold on, we're going to put this to the side so we can look into it.
I'm
okay with that.
Yeah.
Also, I've looked at the statistical possibility of clots. I mean, I have a higher statistical possibility of having a blood clot right now just from smoking.
You have a higher statistic of becoming a bumbleclot.
Yeah, well, that's already happened, so it's 1 for 1. Big up.
Bomba clot is an ass, right?
I don't know what it is,
I
actually.
think it's an ass.
It's not a blood clot, it's a boomba clot. So when you're just too fucking irie, you just get a boomba clot.
When you smoke too much weed.
You're just like, everything irie. Oh, boomba clot! Right in the arm.
Wagwan, brethren.
And the other guys are like, oh, lift your arms up over your head. It's a dance move. Yeah, he doesn't get it. It's okay. The statistics are pretty clear. Like, the chances of you getting COVID take away the wild card of if you get it. But once you get COVID, it's a higher risk of getting the clots from COVID than from the vaccine, and then so on and so forth. It's like 1 in a million if you get it from or not a million. It's like 1 in 900,000 from the vaccine, or 1 in 400,000 from COVID.
That's a big fucking difference.
That's a
bro.
huge difference,
Yeah.
dude.
100,000 and 1 out of a million is a
1 in 900,000. I mean, those aren't crazy risks. I mean, I think ibuprofen has a higher.
1 out of 100,000.
Yeah.
No, they're fucking high. The stats. There's not 1 in 100,000. Think about it. Like 6 million people have gotten it. Like 20 have had blood clots. That's not a lot.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it. But I don't know.
They were all women, no?
Mostly women. But like oral contraceptives have a super high risk of blood clotting, and women take them all the time without question because they don't want babies. And they don't want no glove. They want to feel the skin.
All right.
You're an oral contraceptive.
I am an oral contraceptive.
It's just,
second I open my mouth.
The weird thing in all this is just how things quickly change, right, from one week to the other. I mean, I think it may even have been last week or maybe the week before. I can't remember when we had spoken about the fact that they suspended for anyone under 55. It doesn't seem so far away though. And then suddenly, yeah, look, it's okay. We have to fucking get that vaccine rollout going. Let's go. Yeah, drop it to 45.
George, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If they didn't do these things, people would be mad that they lied. But because they did it, nobody trusts the vaccine anymore. Now we have it shelved. They're like, we have too many doses. Nobody wants it.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm not taking no AstraZeneca, no Johnson & Johnson. I'm waiting for the KFC. Me and Poseidon will be taking the KFC straight into our veins.
Straight to the veins, bro. Gravy to the veins, baby.
I mean, yesterday I saw an article saying in the headline linking ED, like erectile deficiency, to COVID. Then I read the article, and that's not at all what it says. I was like, look at them trying to fucking scare people. They're like, yo, youngins, get your dicks up in here.
Yeah. Dude, the first articles that came out about Derek Chauvin yesterday were making it seem like he was a free man. Just the way they were writing it, just to get rage tweets.
I love the white boy summer stuff.
And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you trick people into getting angry? Like, it's fucking, the media is insane, dude.
I mean, everyone talking about Chauvin, like how it's justice.
Chauvin.
I don't know.
Well, it is justice in the sense that this is it went through the legal system and a judge decided.
It's also
it wasn't decided by the mob. But the biggest thing is accountability. Now, he was held accountable for a mistake on the workplace. Yeah. His workplace is very important.
But people are acting like something's changed. Nothing's changed.
No, nothing's changed. It's just nice that he didn't kill himself in his cell. That he went all through. What's up? Oh, that he went all through the legal process. That's what's nice. You know,
the question that I had, and I actually want to talk about that further on, but let's talk about that now. Yeah. I mean, look, the guy's a fucking criminal.
We dictate the terms of the conversation, George.
He got what he wanted. What was coming.
He got what he wanted. Yeah.
He got what was coming to him. Who? George Floyd, bro.
What was
That's
coming.
fucking crazy, George.
But
he didn't process
There's
it.
always this curiosity that kind of baffles me when cops get arrested. I always think of what these guys are going to go through in jail.
Yeah,
like it's going to be hell.
I really hope for his sake he wasn't a racist and he likes black people.
Well, we had a whole segment. If you guys want, today at noon, the new 2 drink minimum comes out. We had a whole segment about this.
Look at him stepping on our joke just to plug his other shows.
No, our jokes were better on that show.
Okay, fair. I mean, you're both professionals.
Yeah, it was good. No, we talked about it. Look, first of all, he can't be released in general population. Someone's going to kill him. It's impossible, dude.
Right away.
Everyone's mad at him. Cops are mad at him. Inmates are mad at him. He's not. I don't know what to say. There's no way this guy could make it long.
Even his mother's mad at him.
Yeah, everyone's pissed at him.
His mom's mad at him.
Yeah, his parents were mad at him. Yeah, everyone was mad at him.
That sucks.
Even grandma, bro. Grandma's like usually slips a 20.
But you checked it out right before we started. Here's the thing that I don't like the slippery slope stuff. So you saw that 16-year-old girl in Columbus, Ohio that was shot yesterday?
I saw the link come in, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So they were saying it's another case, this guy's out there shooting 16-year-old girls, and it's another George Floyd. And then the Columbus, Ohio police released the body cam footage because people were freaking out. And then when you look at the body cam footage, you're like, fuck, man, I wish the girl didn't get shot. But, I mean, I think the cop was following procedure. She was stabbing a girl. She was in mid-stroke to stab this chick, and she wasn't stopping, and the cop shot her. That's a different scenario than what they purported, where I heard that the cop went up and shot a 16-year-old girl.
Can you say that? Yeah. Purported.
I have the video already.
But, look, we've spoken about this many times. Like, it's so important that we finally get those body cams on the police officers because, I mean, how many times have the messages been mixed up or,
of course.
So, I don't know.
But, George, the body cams don't solve everything because look what happened with that kid. The one in the alley that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
There's body cam footage, and all they did was re-edit the body cam footage to be extremely confusing.
Yeah. It's some of it is confusing.
Not really, because look, if ever it gets to court, they get the full.
Yeah,
that's true.
You're right. Thing. I mean, forget about what they released, and they shouldn't have released that. But
look, with the big red arrow on it. Here, bullet, gun here, gun
this
here.
This is murder of child.
Gun here.
But in that particular case, with the kid in the alley, it just shows that the cop was in the wrong. So, like, you need that, or else the story would have come out. Oh, the kid was holding a gun and I shot him. Yeah, go fucking prove that.
My camera.
What do you mean? Well, it's because because you were slouched over for the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm still close.
He was watching. You remember? He was fixing for you, and you were just slouched the whole time. Now you finally got up. You were slouching the whole entire episode, so he tried to fix it.
So now I have to readjust it.
Are you gonna stand up straight?
Sometimes you gotta give me a little headspace.
Give him some headspace.
Video 101.
So I mean, in that particular scenario, imagine if there were no body cams, everybody would be saying, yeah, the kid was holding a gun, the police officer's life was in danger, and he was shot. But see, now we have the proof that it was the contrary. In the other case where the girl was stabbing, well, we have the opposite, where the mom was coming out and saying, oh, she was she was an example of peace and whatever. I read very quickly the article there where she was talking about her daughter there.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, the contrast to that is her daughter stabbing another person. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. Because in the chat right now, Olga is writing how the girl was being jumped and she called the cops and within 20 seconds. But Olga, this is a cop that got out of his car and all he sees is a woman trying to stab another woman. What do you think the cop's gonna do? Like, I don't understand. What's the matter? What are you doing?
Oh my God.
What are you doing, dude?
It was me. I got confused. I didn't realize my volume was on.
Oh. So yeah, what do you want the cop to do?
Today,
Like, that's another thing.
See, we didn't know this information. Like when you read this information, it sucks
changes
for this
everything.
girl who was probably defending her life, but it just happened that the cop came at that time where he only saw the girl stabbing another person. I don't know, man, guys. It's we spoke about this last week, where it's so difficult today to do that job where your brain has to function at.
Because there's one thing to be said about grabbing a guy and putting your knee on him for fucking 10 minutes, and the guy he wasn't able to run away anyway. Like that's 100% excessive. Like you're being a dumbass, and you get a call, you come out of a car, you see a kerfuffle, you ask them to stop, and then you see someone wielding a fucking knife.
Great word.
Like, come on, there's two different. It
No,
sucks that a
16. Imagine that scenario for a second. All right, you have people that come over your house. They're busting your balls. You want to defend yourself.
Yo, can you bring up the video? Because Michelle Obama says that she dropped the knife before she got shot. Can you bring up the body cam footage? Because just so we could all see the video, because of all the hearsay and this and that. So here's the body cam footage. Phil, look at it because you haven't seen it yet. So some objective eyes. So the cop's walking around. Hey, stop. And then bam, pulls the knife.
It's gonna play it in slow-mo.
She didn't drop the knife.
I didn't understand anything.
Oh, they're gonna do it in slow-mo. I hate that a kid got shot over fucking some stupid fight. It was probably over something dumb. Yeah, look, she didn't drop the knife. What the fuck's Michelle Obama talking about, like, in the chat? But that's what I mean. It's shit, like, misinformation like that.
This is the frame right before the gun goes off?
Yeah.
Go back, Poseidon. I just want to see you go back, 2 seconds before the gun goes off. So, back. Okay. No, back. Okay, stop. Stabby. Oh, yeah, she was about to stab her.
Yeah, she's about to stab. What do you want the guy? First of all,
in the neck.
Yeah, it's not what you guys are saying. It's not, that's what I'm saying. It's not what, like we just saw the body cam footage. That
like honestly, even watching that fucking hurts. But at the same time,
yeah, bro, they're all kids. Apparently, it was all kids fighting. It was all kids.
Yeah, I'm just going back to what Olga was saying in the chat, that apparently she's the one that called the cops because she was being harassed or whatever was happening. But
then when the cop is there, you see the cop coming. Your instinct is, let me pull out a knife. Like
you don't get stabby.
Fuck, man, it sucks.
You know what I've realized in the last, especially 3 years, a lot of times people love to yell at the cops, but no one ever wants to fucking talk about the fact that as an individual,
you have responsibility. But also, here's the other thing. So last week, that lady mistook her taser for a gun and shot that kid. Remember?
The responsibility is on the cop there.
Today we couldn't have had, because the taser would have worked out pretty fine, I guess.
Taser would have been great here. A gun is a lethal weapon at a distance. A knife is a close combat. Like, you need to be close to each other. I'm not gonna throw a knife at you. Well, I mean, I guess.
No, I'm not saying the cop should have knifed her. I'm saying it would have been nice. It would have been nice if there was a method of not killing the girl.
Yeah, well, I guess that's going to be reviewed now, right?
This goes back to my
I understand this is instincts. You come out of your car, you're a cop, you come out of your car, you see stat. He didn't fire off right away. It wasn't what it was described in the chat.
Also, do you know how fast that you can close distance, that gap with a knife? You can close it before you pull out and pull the trigger. It can be pretty quick.
And also,
but what Phil is saying, if you come out of your car, you see someone with a knife, and you take out your taser and you shoot right away, I mean, you're controlling pretty much the situation immediately, right?
Goes back to my non-lethal thing, George, from last week.
But we're also we have the benefit of looking at this afterwards without adrenaline running through us.
Yeah,
and
you're
hyper-focusing.
Yeah, and because you've been in fights, Poseidon. You know what? First of all, when you're in that,
many.
No, but for real, I know when I was in fights, the second you're in a fight, it's crazy how like everything around you, the perception and what you're focusing on, and it's So I don't know.
Well, look, they had even done. Sorry to cut you off, Phil. They had even done. There was a pastor, a black pastor, that did this test. He basically did police training, and they put him in situations. And this was just
he was just shooting people on purpose. At that
no,
point?
no, it was like training situations where they
course.
gave him a gun, but not a real gun, obviously, and it would pop as if it was a real gun, but it wasn't. And he pulled the trigger, and then he was explaining like in that moment, my life felt like I was in danger. You know what I mean? They had given people even...
It's the same thing as like panic attacks, for example. It's the exact same feeling as when you're in a high stress, life or death situation, minus the actual stressor. So even in those situations where there isn't a guy in front of you, like you become hyper focused on the strangest things. You don't think clearly. There's just too much adrenaline.
And your job is as a cop. He doesn't know who called him. All he knows is he's going there. There's a kerfuffle, like I said. And
a hootenanny.
When he's telling people to stop, the last thing, the only time he could come and save someone is, oh fuck, maybe I could stop this person from getting stabbed. Like that's what they're trained to do, and they're trained to shoot center mass. They're not trained to shoot limbs. It's fucked up.
But again, that goes back to what I was saying last week. Maybe giving them rubber bullets for daily patrol.
Yeah.
He could have shot her. She would have gone down, and she wouldn't have died.
Yeah, but then she would have gotten up.
No, she's
shot
not.
with a rubber bullet,
No,
you're
bro,
going down.
she's a 16-year-old girl. If you shoot her and she goes down, she's not gonna get back up to try to stab. Like that would have been the owl moment. It's
Like, I've seen-
She's not a Jason Voorhees.
I've seen cops shoot with live rounds people on purpose, center mass, in like a bulletproof vest, and that takes them out for a few minutes. A rubber bullet with no vest, you're going down for a bit.
Yeah, especially dude, it's a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It would knock her back into her senses.
Yeah,
Like, what the
of
fuck am I
course.
doing? It just sucks that it came to this. I'm out of curiosity. I would like to know what started this. Not that there's any excuse
Doesn't really matter.
for that, like what happened. Like it seems to be like an unfortunate incident, but it is not what they initially purported of a racist cop shooting a black girl on purpose. It's not that. Like I'm looking at the body cam footage, and it's not that.
I just feel that lately, especially since the whole George Floyd incident last year, we're very quick to jump the gun on the whole racist thing, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and the example we're talking about right before we went on air with that lady that was jumped in the metro just a couple of days ago
Here in Montreal, by the STM police. But
I think
people,
even cops.
no, they're STM cops.
they're like security guards. They're like whatever. Yeah.
I've had my
But
run-ins
they
with
have
the
weapons.
They have batons. I've had my run-ins back in the day with the STM police.
Sure,
and
so have I.
and I'm telling you from my personal experience, they take it to the next level really quickly. Like they overdo it.
They're police academy dropouts.
Yeah, it's very strange. The way they act is not like you would assume like they take things to the extreme. So when I saw the video, I don't even know how it started. Like the lady could have been
She jumped the turnstile.
Okay, if she jumped the turnstile. So look, she went in.
Fine.
Like, yeah, you go in without a fare. You could do a fine. You could even chase her. Like the fact that you had her, two grown men had her in a chokehold and all that.
There were more. No, there were more.
Yeah,
than
there was
two
three,
people.
but when it starts, there was two on her.
There's
Yeah.
a fourth
Look.
who's in plain clothes too.
Look, guys, for a $3 fare, like you have to
I think
gauge.
it's like $4.50 now.
It could be
No, 350 or 375, something
Yeah.
like that.
You have to gauge the pros and cons of your actions, especially in this modern day where everything is being filmed. To choke someone out for $3.50, to me is dude. When I used to work at the pharmacy, I remember, and you have kids that would steal this and that, and I'd be like, leave. Don't like. It's annoying to call the cops. Here's $2 for the kid. Let it go. And I had no authority. So when you have the ability to be like, hey, it's $3.50. She's fucking, and apparently she was an immigrant. I think she was foreign or whatever. Like just. Guys, you're going to start beating the shit out of a woman. Like, yo, if she fucking jumped the turnstiles, get the batons. It's a little bit excessive.
Years ago, I mean, maybe almost 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I was in the metro and someone jumped the turnstile. I was downstairs at Plamondon Metro. Guy was Southeast Asian. I don't know what he was. He runs down, the Metro police in hot pursuit. They pin him down and they start beating the fucking crap out of him. This is before cell phone cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this and I was like, this doesn't seem...
Yeah, it's excessive
So
force.
now two guys come out of the end of the tunnel where they have their little office and they're watching now as their buddies beat the shit out of this guy. And I'm like, hey, what'd he do? And they're like, he jumped the turnstile, like very casually. I was like, why the fuck are you beating the shit out of him?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of other guys around me. So when they heard this, they intervened.
Pedophiles are being treated less bad
Yeah.
than people who jump the turnstiles.
And here's the best part of this story. When they told the officers, I'll use the term loosely, to stop, they were like, this is an active investigation. They're like, fuck this. And they beat the crap out of the officers. They pulled them off him and they fucking pummeled him. This is years ago.
Oh my God.
That's why I asked now. I'm like, are they cops? Because the other two guys just went back in their office and closed their door.
One thing, because in the chat, Michelle's saying, but the lady bit the security guard and drew blood. Yeah, she bit him while they were on the ground, double choking her.
Mm-hmm. And I know I stood up for the other guy who bit and got punched in the head. I stood up for the cop. This is a different situation, though. Because one, you're not a police officer. Two, the crime doesn't fit the punishment at all. And it's a woman. Like, come on.
That's why I do my public my public duty. Every time I see them in a car out in public and I'm driving and I stop next to them.
You piss on them?
No, I stare at them.
Yeah, he always does stare downs with the STM police.
Yeah,
the STM police.
The STM police.
Yeah, the STM police overdo it. The STM police overdo it.
I have no fear of them because I don't take public transit.
I haven't taken public transit in years,
that.
but I really don't like them because I remember they would be very aggressive with me for dumb shit, and they'd be like, what? Like my card. Remember we had the Opus card the first time?
Yeah.
Like, when the things wouldn't work, and I go, it doesn't work. What do you want me to do? And they get aggressive. Let me see your ID. Let me see your ID
need
matches.
to go to fucking all the way Henry Brassa just to refill that stupid card.
I don't know. I don't take public transit. But I remember they were like, I want to see your ID to make sure your thing. Man, I go, who the fuck are you to check my ID? I have a bus. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. They would come in the bus sometimes. I remember. Be like, I gotta check your ID to make sure it matches your Opus. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you, the Gestapo? You're a fucking metro cop. Get the fuck out of here.
You know they set up sting operations, huh?
Yeah.
Did you know that? The bus driver will call.
They're so bored.
And then they wait at bus stops.
I suspect the young ethnic males are... Come on.
Bro, what
I
is
hate
this?
these.
The only time that I was faced with these guys, I remember once I had to take the metro. I had no tickets, nothing. So my aunt goes to me, here, take one of my tickets. But they were like another category of tickets. I don't know if they were
elderly.
Older people. I don't know, whatever. So I go to the counter there and I give the ticket so she can turn the thing. And she's like, this isn't for you. This is not the right ticket. You need to buy your ticket. I'm like, I don't know, man. My aunt gave it to me. What do you want me to know? I don't take the fucking metro. You got to buy a ticket. I'm like, okay, can I have that ticket back? He goes, no, I'm keeping it. You got to buy. I'm like, give me back the fucking ticket.
Yeah.
And why would you keep it? Yelling at the guy. The guy calls the fucking cops or those police or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
And dude, they were there like in seconds, right? I don't know where these guys hang out.
This was a high-profile ticket case.
And I'm like, listen, I understand. I'll pay for my fucking ticket, but I want that one back. Why is she keeping it? You know? And explain the situation. So they went, they got it back, and they go to me, look, don't worry about it. They were actually very kind. They're like,
nice.
That's good.
George, the privileged few.
The fucking, the white boy.
Yeah, he works for the government. They're like, don't worry, G.
Wait for that. I was at university. But they said, we have a lot of problems with this guy, like the employee, the STM employee.
Oh, he was a curmudgeon-y old fuck.
I don't know what the hell he was doing there, but I don't know, man. These fucking people, man, these power
tripping.
Yeah.
The only security force that I ever fuck with is TMR Public Security. I hate them. It's TMR. It's the safest place in the world.
Remember what we
don't need them.
Oh my God! Well,
you know what I did to that once? It was me, him, and Legacy. We're driving in TMR's night. I forgot what we went to do, and then I noticed.
Chilling.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We went to get Tim Hortons. It was just a night. We weren't doing anything. It was a nice summer night, and then I start noticing, bro, I'm being followed, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just being paranoid. So I start taking odd routes. Like, cul-de-sac type stuff, like, no agenda type of driving. And I see the TMR cop was following me. I said, okay, motherfucker.
They must have run your Park X plates.
I go, you want to play, motherfucker?
I don't think they can run plates.
I don't think, I go, I'll fucking
play.
I go,
they can run plates.
Yeah, they could run plates.
So
they can't run plates. What am I saying? No, they can't run plates.
They can.
No, they can't.
They absolutely can.
They can't run plates.
Not the STM. TMR Security.
TMR Security cannot run plates.
I guarantee.
You can check with Spiro too. The people that have access to the plate operation right now is just the police.
There's no way.
They cannot run plates.
That's way too much power.
But anyway, so he's following me around. So he's following me around. No, it's
the line.
No, it's dangerous. Yeah, you can't. They don't even let you search up plates anymore. It's because it's dangerous in case something happens and you follow a guy home or whatever. Anyways,
that can happen.
So they're following us around, and I go, okay, you want to play? I'll fucking play with you guys because I know TMR. I know certain sections of TMR pretty well. So I take like a couple of lefts so that the guy slows down. And I went around another block, and I appeared behind him. Nice. So now there's looking. You could see because we're in the back and it's night, and you could see him trying to figure out where I went, but I'm following behind him. And then there's just this stop, and he's looking at us. I'm smiling in my car, and we start following him around slowly. And every time he tried to go to the side so we could go around him, we would stop with him too. And then wait to get there, I followed him around too. I can go play this fucking game, bro. I'll play this fucking game with you.
When I was 16, remember Perezvi?
Yeah, I like Perezvi.
Buddy? he convinced me to come visit him at his place in TMR where he was living. I'm like, look, I don't have a car. Like, how am I going to get there? TMR's infamous for bad public transit when you're deep in it, right?
Yeah, deep in, there's no way to get there.
He's like, aren't your parents on vacation? I'm like, yeah. He goes, just take your dad's car. I'm like, I don't know how to drive.
Oh, you don't have a driver's license yet?
I had my learner's permit, but I had like 2 weeks only, you know?
Because I remember you had that little red car.
No, this is before the red car.
Okay.
My dad had a Nissan egg van, like the access with the sliding doors. So I take my dad's car, I go into TMR, terrified, and I get fucking lost. Like super lost.
It's easy to get lost,
Easy to
yeah.
get lost. And all of a sudden, I see public security, so I'm freaking out.
You should ask them.
So I pull up next to him. I'm like, hi.
I'm looking for the ambassador's son.
And he's like, hello. I'm like, yeah, look, I live in Côte de Neige. This is me, right? He's like, okay. What are you doing here? I'm like, visiting a friend. He's like, okay. I go, but I'm super lost. He's like, oh, okay. I go, I just got my license. Like, I don't know the area. He goes, where do you want to go? So I tell him. Doesn't he fucking lead me to the house? Says goodbye.
That's so nice.
We have a great day. And he's like, what the fuck happened? I go, the nice public security brought. He goes, you don't have a light. What are you doing? I go, I don't know, hiding in plain sight, man. What's more suspicious? Can you help me or driving in circles? Like,
Yeah, driving in circles suspicious, but I mean, good thing that yeah, because the guy knew where you.
I wonder
he
if
was
my
going.
dad's watching and if he knew I stole his car.
But what's that attitude? What are you doing here?
That I
No,
don't
he was
like.
polite about it. He was no, it wasn't like that.
Oh, okay,
That's
cool.
what happened to me in Laval though. A few weeks ago, where she's like, "What are you doing in Laval? You don't live here." I'm like, "It's Laval."
Because me, if I get asked that, what are you doing here? I'm like, bro, go fuck yourself.
You know, I remember that ticket I talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
I contested it. I was waiting for my court date. Don't I get a fucking letter a few days ago from the SAQ saying they're going to suspend my license because I haven't paid my fines in Laval?
Oh, what the fuck
you
is
know
that?
in Laval, one infraction, if you don't pay it within 30 days, they suspend your license.
Really?
Fucking Laval.
So now I had
bro.
to pay it. I had no choice.
Fuck Laval.
Like Montreal, you can go like 6 months and they'll just
No,
like,
but Montreal, you could contest it.
yeah, but they're saying they never received my contestation because you can't do it by email in Laval.
Oh.
You have to take it physically or mail it. So I mailed it and it never got there.
So they're just gonna pretend like they never got the
Yeah.
mail.
What the
So
fuck
somewhere in
is
the
that?
mailroom is just throwing the mail out.
Fucking bad.
I'm gonna start like filming myself when I contest things by mail like this. Here's me mailing it.
That's fucking dirty.
Office, Your Honor, Exhibit 1.
But you can send it registered letter also with.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay money to fucking contest a ticket that I was illegally stopped for. Like I didn't do anything. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. I mean, now that you say it,
But I mean,
looking back on this,
You would've
situation,
saved more money,
I
yeah.
would have saved more money. It cost
There
me
you go.
$250
there you
Yeah.
go.
I got it. Yeah, there's a ticket I gotta contest
for a
too.
stop sign.
When I contest, I always when I contest like not parking tickets, but like fines, infractions, I always send it registered.
You don't have to anymore. Ville de Montréal, you can just email it now.
Yeah, now you could go online.
It's all
Email.
Really?
Yeah, the only thing that sucked online is like my last one that I'm contesting. I sent photos, but it wouldn't let me upload videos, so I have the video with me. I'm
Never,
gonna fuck
never
them.
do that.
What?
Don't show them anything beforehand. Bring everything the day.
Oh,
of.
but they don't know what I'm showing them. Like I'm showing them a video of something, but they don't. But I didn't describe anything.
just send a video of one of your sets.
No. I sent. They don't know what it is, but what I videotaped is where the cop was, right? So if you look at the video, you don't know what it is until I tell you this is the street, this and that. Because the video is basically the cop said that I burned a stop sign, which isn't true. And where the cop was stationed to, because I want to.
You couldn't see the intersection.
He couldn't see. Not only can you not see the intersection, you can't see the stop sign, and the line where you stop is behind his line of view. So every person, I stayed there filming. Every person looks like they're burning the stop sign, because the stop is before your line of sight.
Right. Okay.
So,
makes sense.
because when he stopped me, he told me, what I saw, like he made it seem obvious that he knew he was lying. I was like, why would he say the way I saw it? I go, why would he even say it? He would just say, you did this, not my interpretation is this. So I went back to where he was parked, and I go, the son of a fucking bitch, you can't even see the stop sign.
You know where Bureau en Gros is on Jean Talon?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but you can't turn left on mountain sites during the week, only on the weekends. I didn't know this. It's a new sign.
You're going.
You're going like towards
east.
my place.
East, yeah.
You're going east.
Yeah,
and
and you
turn
want to
left.
turn towards
Yeah.
the carrier. You're not allowed. So
You can't? Really?
no, yeah, it's a new sign. So I make that turn a few months ago. There's a police officer waiting in the parking lot. He turns on the sirens. I pull in. I go, "What's up?" Like, I'm like, "What?"
He's like, fuck, I gotta give you a ticket
I
now.
gotta give you a ticket. I go, "For what?" He goes, "You turn left." I go, "Yeah, I turn left." He goes, "So you admit it?" I go, "Do I admit that?" Yeah, I admit that I turned left. You're not allowed. What are you talking about? He's like, "There's a sign." I go, "Fuck that. There's no sign. I've lived here for my whole life, this neighborhood."
It's a new sign?
Walk me to the sign. So he walks me to the sign. I'm like, son of a bitch, there's a sign. But I'm like, he's like, you see? I'm like, yeah, but look, there's like this big like hydro van like doing work. It's completely obstructed.
Oh, was it
He
obstructed?
goes, but you can see it from here. I go, I can see it from here standing on the street.
That's
but
not where
from-
I was driving
That's not
from.
where I was driving from. He's like, look, the way I saw it, and he explains exactly like you just said. I'm like, look, man, reality is subjective. He goes, don't go
Reality
down.
is not subjective.
That's what I'm telling. I'm just fucking with him. I go, reality is subjective. He's like, what?
This is what we talked about yesterday. Reality is subjective or objective. That's hilarious.
No.
Reality is subjective.
It's not.
Why not?
How's reality subjective?
Because
reality is reality. Reality means what's real, right?
Yeah.
Your perception of it
here's
is
the question
subjective.
for you. What color is this can?
Yeah. So the colors, the way we name them here in English, this is a blue can.
Okay. What if I'm colorblind? My reality is that it's not a blue can.
Exactly. So that's not reality. Is that it's blue. Your perception could be that if you close your eyes, your perception is that everything is black. It does not change the reality that we're still here and it's not all in black.
But we're only absorbing everything.
No,
through
no,
our own
that's
senses.
what's it called? Mysticism. It's like Nietzsche was writing. This is all horse shit. Actual reality is not
subjective.
Reality is not subjective because you can't. This is a table. It's not a car because you want it to be a car.
I'm
This
not
will
saying-
always
it's
be
not
a
question
table.
of what I want it to be.
It goes back to the question of if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it still make a sound?
Yeah, of course it makes.
Of course, it makes a sound.
Exactly. No, I know. It does make a sound. But that's the reality, even though no one's around to hear it.
The
Now
reality
you're
is
in quantum physics.
the
like, if
reality.
you
The
don't-
reality is that you didn't hear it because
Look
you
at
weren't
George,
there.
look at George.
Exactly.
No, the reality is that you didn't hear it
Bro,
because
guy,
you
whoa,
weren't
whoa,
there.
whoa! 420 was yesterday, okay?
No, I'm just saying I hate it when people do that because it
I think
became like
reality is subjective.
it became a big. But what does that mean? Reality is subjective.
Reality is subjective because everything is perceived differently, and what's real to me isn't real to you.
Well, no,
My
but it
feelings,
doesn't
for
matter what's
example.
exactly your feelings aren't facts trump your feelings.
No,
so
no,
whether
that's not what I meant. That's not. I mean, my feelings are a real thing, right?
of course,
They are real.
Yeah.
But I feel them a certain way. You feel them a
Correct.
certain way because you perceive them. You absorb them differently.
correct.
It changes.
No. It changes your feel. So right now, for example, let's say you like the color red, he likes the color blue. For example, when you see red, you get happy. When he sees red, he gets upset. Right? It does not change the fundamental fact that it's the color red. Whether he's happy and you're sad, it does not change the fact. The reality is that it's red. The subjective nature of it is how you feel about it, but it does not change what the reality is. The reality is that it's red. If you could be happy when you see it, he could be angry. It does not change that it's still red.
But that's affecting how it makes me feel.
It does, but it
not
does
how
not.
my feelings are perceived by others.
But that's what I'm saying. It does not change what the reality is. Your feelings are subjective. Your feelings, but reality is not. Reality is objective.
The truth
they've
is
been trying to
objective.
tell. They've been trying to tell people that truth is subjective.
No,
reality
truth
is
is not
subjective.
subjective.
Reality is not subjective. Your reality, the way you want to perceive something, different story. But it doesn't change what's real. You know what I mean?
Even if you're colorblind, the reality is that it's still blue. You just have a, I'm not going to say handicap. You have a,
I mean, yeah.
a visual handicap.
Yeah, but it does not change what it is. Like if
Exactly.
if I've never seen a camera before and the camcorder's there and I'm like, holy shit, that is a robot monster.
But now we're
Yeah,
only using examples. That
I'm using
have-
examples of in this room that I see around me.
No, but
Whether
we're
I
using
call this a
examples that have
robot
objective,
monster,
quantifiable measures. Colors have measures. Weight has measures. Temperature has measures. I'm trying to think of something.
but I'm
that
saying if
doesn't.
it doesn't have a measure to me, so I've never seen a camera before. So to me, I see it and I'm like, oh fuck, I perceive it as a monster, right? It does not change. Yeah, the rolling stuff. It does not change that it's still a camera, even though I'm scared of it and I think it's a monster. It's like, but that's his reality. That's fine, but we do know that
So
realistically,
individual reality is
that
subjective.
is a camera. Like it can't become a monster because he thinks it's a monster. He could perceive it. He could be as scared of it as he wants, as if it's a monster, but it's not actually a monster. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, reality.
we went
fucking-
we went deep into the hole.
Yeah.
So what happened with a cop?
But speaking of cops,
The cop, I gave him this whole reality is subjective bullshit, and he just looked at me.
He let you go.
He was just nodding his head. He goes, I have to give you the ticket. I'm like, you don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want.
You live in a free society.
You're an officer of the peace. You're in a position of power. He's like, look, just go take a picture that it's obstructed. I'll write the ticket up. I gotta go for lunch. I'm like, all right. Like he was straight up with me, you know, like, look, fuck it, I can't do anything now. He goes, my partner here. I'm like, don't play good cop, bad cop with me.
So you have to pay that ticket.
No, I contested it. I mean, I have photos that show it was obstructed. It was just the whole premise of like, I gotta do it.
But you don't have to do it. That's
Like,
not.
I
You
got
haven't
out
written
of
up.
my car now.
You haven't
I got my
written
hand
up
on
the
my
ticket.
gun.
actually, I got out
Anyway,
of
so what we were saying, in case people were confused because we cut it off, reality is not, whatever they tell you is not subjective. Your perception could be subjective. The way you feel about things changes from person to person, but it doesn't change what the actual thing is just because your feelings about it are different than someone else's.
And now that he said that, remember that his perception of it is also subjective, so it's not fact. Bah!
That's not a BAP.
No?
That's an imbecilic argument.
It's
yeah.
the truth.
No, it's not. The truth
The
is
truth is objective. It'll set you free, Pantelis.
the truth is objective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it not the truth that this is your opinion? Is it not your opinion?
What?
What you just said.
No.
I mean, no. Whether it's true,
Truth
whether it's
is
fact or
objective.
not, before
Truth
we-
is
before we
objective. It's not
confirm
my
it,
truth is
before we
objective.
confirm it, because we cannot confirm it.
Truth is objective. Math is objective. 2 + 2 = 4.
Math is
If you
objective.
don't know what math is, and you assume 2 + 2 is 3, and that's your perception,
That
does
means you're
not
wrong.
make it real. The reality is still that 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah, because then you're going into
Quick
1984 territory.
Yeah, you're going into this
Stop
1984,
quoting
everyone's
1984.
reality.
But it's true because the whole thing in that book was at some point 2 + 2 = 5. They had the whole argument.
They had the whole.
What happens
This
when
is the kind of stuff they talk
What
about.
happens when we enter into the simulation, though?
We're not in the simulation. I'm talking about tangible real. Because if you're talking about video games and I'm talking about in real life right now. In real
if
life,
you can feel something,
there are
you can perceive it. It's
there
real.
are objective truths.
Okay.
There are objective truths.
Yes.
Mathematical truths are also objective because they use the scientific method, right? You have a hypothesis, and then you study it, you apply your hypotheses, and see what the results are. Anyways, I'm going to talk to a flat earther later today, so this is going to be
Holy shit!
yeah, this is going to be insane.
Why are you putting yourself through that?
On a lighter note, I've gotten out of a similar ticket once, but you know how I got out of it?
You suck the cop's dick. Almost.
I didn't think. I didn't
I
think.
wish you could see it.
No. I didn't think of applying one of your tactics in this situation.
Dick sucking.
No. So
Dick sucking hardly ever works. There's a lot of people out there.
yeah.
I also never said I did that.
Yeah.
I just
No, I know.
based on my perception of your reality, I
Oh,
assumed that
okay.
was the most likely thing you would have done.
Your perception.
I mean, I've seen enough of what you I found stuff about you yesterday that I didn't know.
Okay.
You
Nice.
told me stuff that I didn't know.
Good.
It changed a lot of how I perceive you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had taken a left turn. I remember the cop. I wanted because I was in a hurry that day, and all I did was, you know what? Just give me the ticket first. I was in back of a lineup.
Yeah.
And basically he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna let you." No, he didn't say that. He goes, "Are you in a hurry?" I go, "Yeah, I'm in a hurry." He goes, "You have to pick up your kids." I go, "No." And then he looks at me. I go, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay." And he wrote down my stuff. He
You
goes,
should have said no. I have to pick up someone else's kids.
and then he goes, and then he writes down my information. He goes, "Okay, you're gonna get it by mail." I leave, never got anything. Never got anything.
There's for sure a warrant out for his arrest because his mom tore up his mail while he was moving.
Are you here to pick up your kids? And Poseidon's like, no, I mean, yes, they are my kids. Shaniqua, come on over here,
No,
girl.
But he saw, I guess, that I wasn't gonna give him a hard time. I was like, "Give me the ticket first, because I'm in a hurry," you know. And he was like,
Okay, just go.
"Yeah."
Okay, I could. Sometimes you
Someone
fall.
sent me it was Gigi actually. Quantum theory demonstrated observation affects reality. Here's my question though, because he's
Quantum
saying
theory.
he's saying this can prove your argument,
Yeah.
but I've always had this issue with observation of, you know, like how if you observe something, it changes it.
Yeah.
How do you know what it did when you didn't observe it?
No, that's
Like, no, I mean, you have no
because science
comparison.
is, but also quantum physics and quantum theory are different things, right?
course, yeah.
So that's another thing is when you're getting into
No, I'm
the
disagreeing with it. I'm saying-
theoretical realm.
Yeah.
It's like the flat Earth, right? Which I'll rip him
I
on
don't
it
know
later.
if it's like the flat Earth.
It is like the
really.
flat Earth because the flat Earth tries to use what they say is science when it's pseudoscience. They basically try to adapt different models to explain different phenomena of why we have the seasons, why we have the suns, but none of those models actually work together
They don't
properly.
take into account all the known data also.
No. They make up their own data, but I mean, what they do is, this would make sense. Let's say if there's a flat Earth, this would make sense for the night and day, let's say, for example. However, you also said that the seasons work because of X thing. Well, this thing and this thing can't
Cannot
coexist.
exist, yeah.
So they use it separately. You get it? Because it fits the narrative.
Of course.
So it doesn't fit into the objective reality of how we're living, how the seasons work, how night and day works, how the year progresses. So they just pick and choose and they apply it to different places. That's why I'm saying, like when it's theoretical, you can apply it however you want, like fucking Deepak Chopra and shit like that, right? Deepak Chopra is nonsense. It's complete nonsense about
never
how
heard anything he
yeah
said.
about how energy heals you. It's there's no science.
That's chakras.
He uses some scientific words and a couple of like quantum theories, and then thinks that, okay, I landed this, let me use some other words, and he just fucking envelops people into it. It's kind of like Scientology and shit like that, and you think
I
it's
can see
real,
that.
but they don't. And then people get so deep into it, no one wants to talk about the truth. No one wants to talk. There's no actual tangible science. And scientific, I don't mean religion. Science, like just follow science because they say it. I'm talking about stuff that's proven, stuff that you can quantify.
Yeah, but science ends somewhere, and then we enter the question realm. Like we don't know. There's stuff we
Of course,
don't know.
there's stuff. That's what I'm saying. So use
Like Bigfoot.
what you do know. No, use what you do know. So there's a lot of stuff. Like for example, knowing that the we have a globe, Earth, and all that. We know this. We're Greeks. We're the ones who fucking figured this out first.
I don't know if
5,000
we were
years ago.
first.
I think the Egyptians too had figured it out.
I
No,
know
the
that-
Egyptians,
I know
the
that
Sumerians also figured it out.
Greek
Though.
Okay, the
mathematicians
Sumerians.
calculated the circumference of the Earth to within like a tiny margin.
Yeah, dude. Like so these aren't calculations that are new that are made up by NASA. This is stuff that we've known. This is stuff that when people had time,
It
they
was
calculated
lost
and
for
they
centuries,
knew.
though.
Well, yeah, because
Dark Crystal.
yeah, because of the Vatican. So I'm just saying, when you have science, real science, you have a theory, and then you're like, okay, let me apply this, and then you prove it. That's the best. That's the answer, right?
Speaking of pseudoscience, last night I was watching a Hulu documentary. It is the most interesting thing. This is super random. It's called Sasquatch, but it's a true crime story. Okay.
Now Sasquatch did something, and now they're after him.
So some guy.
Many rapes in the village.
They're looking for me.
The quick premise.
He's the Sasquatch they're looking for.
The quick premise is some guy who's in investigative journalism now who goes like undercover. Like he went undercover with like the Aryan Brotherhood, biker gangs. So he's had a long career. When he was like in his 20s, he was working on a weed farm in North Carolina, and in Northern California, sorry. And he overheard the guy who owns the place say, 3 guys are dead. What are we going to do about it? And the other guy, there was another guy who came into the house, and mind you, take it with a grain of salt because everyone's high as fuck, right? And he's like, they're mangled, man, they're mangled. Bigfoot did it. So he doesn't think about this for 20 years. 20 years later, he reaches out to his buddy who was with him. He goes, yeah, I heard that too. I was too fucking scared. And the whole story is they're trying to prove if these murders happened, if they're real. I haven't finished it. It looks like they did happen.
If it's a mangled like Bigfoot.
I don't think it's Bigfoot. Obviously, that's just a premise to get people to watch the show. It's a spin. But it's so fucking interesting going into that world of like weed farming squatchers from the 90s.
Yo, squatchers, hold on. You guys want to talk about shows? You motherfuckers want to bring up shows on the morning show? Is that what you guys want to do? Because I watched a Netflix documentary called Why Did You Kill Me? Or something like that. Yeah, let me tell you about that.
Who's asking it?
Let me tell you, the girl who got killed. So Poseidon, check that out. Bring that bitch up on the Netflix. So essentially what happened was there was a shooting years ago, a drive-by kind of execution-style shooting where a young girl was shot, killed.
That's terrible.
And they were trying to figure out who did it, local gang members, why they do it. So they started investigating. And basically, this was during the MySpace days. And I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up, because there's something that fucking bothered me and I forgot to talk about on 2 Drink Minimum.
Okay.
So the younger, I guess, cousin of her, what she did is after, because it was MySpace, she went and created a MySpace account with the dead girl's photo and started befriending all the local gang members. Because remember, they would write stuff on MySpace.
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. To figure out if any of us are going to rat each other out, figure out what happened, who killed her cousin. So
it's genius.
It's genius. So she goes on there. And the girl was young. She was like 13, 14. We're going to get to why I'm bringing this up in a second. So her and the mother, they befriended. They found out details from these gang members. Then the cops got involved. Anyways, they found the murder in the end. And it all started from there. And the mother at one point exploded on one of the messages. She told him, I'm the girl that you killed. No, it was fucking crazy. The girl, they were falling in love with her.
What? Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, they were falling in love with that girl, and it was the girl that they fucking killed by accident. Then you find out what happened. They were just idiots. They were just dummies. It was all an accident anyways. But still, you gotta go to...
It doesn't excuse.
Gotta go to Yale for that.
Yale.
Yale. Sounds Yale. But I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up. The 13-year-old girl, okay, that was there, or 10, whatever she was, she's talking in the documentary.
Okay.
And while she's talking, I'm thinking in my head, I go, how the fuck were you a 12-year-old girl writing on MySpace, and right now you're doing the documentary, also a 13-year-old girl? What is, what kind of time travel is this?
What?
I am very confused, yeah. I had to look up this person's information. I think she's 30 now. Still looks like a fucking 13-year-old girl. Still talks like
Chinese?
A 13-year-old girl. No, an American girl. I was confused as fuck. Yeah.
Maybe she has one of those sicknesses that...
There's no sickness. I looked it up.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
You know that the footage of her talking now is from now?
It's from now. It's from now. And people, you know how I know? I Googled her name. The first thing when I put her name, it came out, it said age or whatever. People all thought the same thing.
Do you remember? I'll find it. Why did you kill me?
Yeah, why did you kill me?
That's a great premise, though, like what she did. I like it.
Why did you kill me? Jamie Age. You see? Why did you kill me? Jamie Age comes in. Yeah, Jamie McIntyre.
Jamie McIntyre, eh?
Yeah. Why did you kill me? Yeah. Jamie is now up to... You see, people are asking this online. I'm not the only one. It was so confusing. It's just she perpetually looks 14. So, Poseidon, this is her now. This is her in the Netflix documentary. Oh, sorry.
I keep getting a dude.
Jamie McIntyre.
Jamie McIntyre.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. Anyway, so she did a documentary. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah. Jamie McIntyre.
Very interesting. I'll watch this. I'm
Yeah,
curious now.
Poseidon, bring her up. Jamie McIntyre.
How do you spell her first name?
Jamie.
That's how I wrote it.
Yeah, it's Jamie.
I wrote, why did you kill me? And my first hit is, did Thanos kill you?
That's funny.
What?
McIntyre is McIntyre.
That's how I spelled it too, and I got some dude. I don't understand.
Well, Jamie is a unisex name in North America.
But she didn't even come up in any of the searches, just this guy.
Type that in, and then why did you kill me? And then go to images. We'll bring her up here so we can see what I'm talking about. No, that is an old lady. Poseidon, keep going. That's the mom. Keep going. Keep going. I'll tell you where. That's her on the bottom right there. You see her? Yeah. That's her now.
What?
Yeah. So I was watching her talk, and she talks with a lisp. She sounds like a little girl. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this little girl did that. And then I'm like, wait a second. How's this little girl giving an interview now if she did this on MySpace back in the day in the 2000s?
Hold on. Let me bring it up for the peoples.
Yeah, bring it up for the people so they understand why I was confused.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that is an adult woman.
Wow.
You know how confusing this was, dude?
That's
I had to
insane.
Google it because I thought did they film this with like in 4K in 2000 in 2004? What the fuck's happening? Like I was so confused. The whole time I was thinking I'm watching the series and this is all that was in my head is that, and I go, this is inexplicable. Like, do I bring this up or am I gonna look like a like a psychopath?
Seems like you're onto something.
Yeah. And then I noticed that people were questioning it
I love when
online.
I have a question about a person on TV and I start Googling it and someone else has asked it. I'm like, good, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Duhamel and Timothy Oliphant. They're the same person, I'm convinced.
Yeah, they do look
They're
like
the same
a lot.
person.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
fucking with us.
By the
now.
way, I've had a similar situation when
Not Jeff, Josh, sorry.
When I used to
I know,
work
yeah,
at-
Josh Duhamel. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I used to work at Telus, there was this woman that I thought she was a teenager, like 14, 15. She was 40 something. And then she kept asking to buy a phone, this, that, and I go,
And then you
okay.
kept offering to give her a dick.
No, I'm like, no, I was like, okay, look, you can't buy a phone. At some point, like, I thought she was just messing with me. I go, look, you can't buy a phone yet. Nah, you're going to need parental supervision. And then, bro, she goes, excuse me? I go, yeah, no, look, I understand you want to get a phone, but, you know, your parents around, is that? And she's like, excuse me, I'm 40-something years old. I go, no, you're not. Stop messing with me.
You made that woman's life.
Bro.
Josh Duhamel. Oh, yeah, that's fucking embarrassing and funny.
It's not embarrassing.
But the Josh Duhamel thing.
No.
No.
Man, women love that. My mother got carded 22 years ago in Boston. She still talks about it.
Oh, really?
Oh, but when it's
But your
like
mother's
20
carded. Yeah,
something-
she might be 18. But if
I thought she was 15, bro.
yeah, if a child is telling you you're younger than me, that's
I'll
weird.
ask the obvious question.
And then she pulled out her ID, bro, and I was like,
I just got a memory flashback because he said I think Josh Duhamel is married to Fergie.
Is he?
I got a Fergie memory in my head. You know, with like the no filter, but it didn't make her uncomfortable, but it was still a weird
You're right.
situation. Yeah.
No, that's Timothy Oliphant.
Josh Duhamel, yeah, American Music Awards, bro, 2013. So Fergie,
I like Josh
does-
Duhamel for the record.
like had performed, I think, with some rapper or whatever.
Divorced.
Anyways,
They're divorced.
backstage. But anyways, in 2013, I remember she was married with him backstage. So I see Fergie. Now, on TV, Fergie to me seems big, tall, huge shit. Bro, I see her. She's like this, okay? What's my instinct? Ha! Fergie! Fuck, you're like this big! But she laughed. She was she laughed. She was fucking cool about it. But it literally, there was zero filter. Everything I thought in my head screamed out, but people turned around. I was like, Fergie, what? You're like this big. Like, it was so shocking.
That's hilarious.
going back to the argument
I could
of
put it in my pocket.
of perceptions and reality,
Yeah.
because we see these stars on TV and everything. We have
But
this
that's not
perception.
Yeah.
that
The reality is,
the
she's
reality,
this
they're
big
all
and it's
tiny.
just-
Bro, Tory Lanez is 5'3", bro. This
I don't
Canadian
know who that
rapper.
guy
He's
is.
a
Who she
Canadian
is.
rapper. He's like 5'3", bro. This guy has to hop off chairs to stand up.
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, I don't know who that is, but Fergie,
neither.
I had, because
No,
again,
we did a This Just Thing story on
But it's
her.
funny because
Yeah?
we have
Yeah.
these perception, you know, because they're larger than life personalities. We
No,
have
it's just
this-
fucking forced perspective. Look
Yeah,
at
it's
Tom
because
Cruise.
I
He's
thought
a-
she
he's
was
a tiny
tall.
person.
Yeah, all that stuff. But it was so funny because it came out,
Hey,
dude.
George is still here.
It was literally it was from the heart. There was no control. I was so surprised. I was like, ah, Fergie. You're like
Well,
this
yeah, I
big,
mean,
huh?"
if she was bigger, she would just be Ferg. Because she's
laughed.
little, she's Fergie.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
nice.
That's funny.
That was a very random song, but
Because if you said that and it's just, you know, in memory, like a smell or something, it triggered the memory of me yelling. But she was cool about it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it awkward.
I
yeah.
like
do have that,
I like stars like that are cool. Like they can, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then I found out because then I started asking questions about other people. She has a crazy past because she was a performer there in LA. She was known on the scene. She would sing and stuff. And she had, I think meth or crack. She had like a huge drug addiction.
Like that? Crack.
Meth or crack. I don't remember what it was, but a huge. It fucked up her face. She had this whole thing. She has a.
It's so the crazy. Guy. They're the same guy.
She has a whole like it would a good documentary on her would be interesting.
Really?
Yeah, interesting story with her. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to Tarantino?
Tarantino's
the
mutating.
pandemic didn't do him dirty.
No,
yeah?
but Tarantino's always been ugly.
No, yeah, for sure. He's not a handsome man. He's an interesting looking dude.
Yeah,
but
now he has
like a super villain.
I think he drinks a lot. That's like the alcoholic's head, where your forehead gets bigger.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
George?
I don't know.
Why is George an alcoholic?
He lives in Brossard. What else is there to do? But he can do it in his backyard or the front street till 9:30.
But I remember it was
Brossard, land of the free.
Yeah.
The last bastion of democracy.
Tarantino has like a squishy face.
Yeah, he does have it. The guy from that documentary I was talking about looks just like a low budget B movie Tarantino. That's what he looks like.
The guy complaining about the Sasquatch?
The host, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I gotta find what's his name?
I like Tarantino a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He looks like he's about to yell, "Get off my lawn."
Who?
Quentin Tarantino all the time.
What does that mean?
Like,
get off my lawn,
like an old man that's about to.
It doesn't look like that at all. It doesn't look like a.
Well, here, yeah, he does.
Looks like a mutant.
What's this guy's name? I gotta find him.
Here he does. I find he's about to be. Get off my lawn, children.
That's the same face from the meme he has where he wakes up early at someone's house. You know, he's just standing around looking at things.
It looks like his dad was the Toxic Avenger.
Oh, remember the Toxic Avenger?
Yeah.
Those were good times.
What was the Toxic Avenger?
Yeah,
you're also misinformed. Like,
I mean, to some extent, you are a Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, you're Toxic Avenger. Are you
George,
Googling
do you remember the
Avenger?
Toxic Avenger, George?
No, I wasn't into comic books, man.
Yeah, he wasn't into any of that stuff.
It was a movie too, no? Didn't they make a movie?
I have no idea.
Guy had like the fucked up face, like the Goonies face. No?
No.
All right. It happens.
It was super cool.
Trying to find this guy's
It was a B
picture so
movie.
you can see it.
Anyways, forget that guy's face. G-Funk, what other news you got, bro? I'm sorry we derailed you with nonsense.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. It's all
The morning
good.
is nonsensical.
On Monday, the federal government, our friend Justin Trudeau, tabled his budget after 2 years. Yep, believe it or not, last year we had no budget. The government was running budgetless.
Wait,
so budget.
You said it was running budgetless for the longest time now?
Well, last year there was no budget tabled.
Yeah.
So this is the first budget in 2 years.
How important is a budget?
Would you say how important is the budget? Yeah, no, it's not important at all. Fuck it, let's just do anything we want. Yeah, exactly. Basically, just to sum it up, permanent increases in spending, limited revenues, revenue measures. It's super long. I didn't really have time to go through it, but there are some things that we can highlight. Obviously, it's intended to transform the economy. It's favoring vaccine rollouts and economic recovery in the near term, focusing on the labor force, of course, green technology, education. I mean, it all seems well intentioned, but I mean, to what cost? You know what I mean? It'll come at a huge cost to Canadians. Just to give you guys an idea,
financial cost,
because there was no budget last year, so they're including, you know, the numbers this time around. So the deficits over 2020, 21, and 21, 22
Trudeau's
are
mental deficit.
$509 billion. That's where the deficit is.
Nice.
What does that mean for us in taxes?
It's gobbledygook money. It's fake.
Well, see, here's the thing. There are no tax increases, which leads me to believe that probably because the Quebec government didn't announce any tax hikes either. It's difficult to imagine how we're going to get through this without any of that stuff. So I think next year, or you know, towards the end of this year, next year, I don't know how easily things are going to unfold. I mean, look, just some measures. I mean, there's good measures here. They're dumping a lot of money into the economy. I don't know where they're planning on getting it back, though. They're investing over $32 billion to help households and businesses get through the crisis. You know, we're talking about major outlays to extend the wage subsidy program, so they're going to stick to that. And they want to maintain employment insurance benefits until September. They're focusing a lot on daycares. They want women to get back to work. And they're using Quebec.
I love the way you said that. They're focusing on, they want women to get back to work.
Well, because we've spoken about this in other episodes.
Go.
Women,
this bed's not going to make itself, ladies. It sounds so aggressive.
I mean, women in general have gotten the short end of the stick throughout this whole pandemic, right? I mean, and it's proven. So, anyways, they're investing over $30 billion to center around the daycare. So they're starting at $3 billion in 21-22, and they're ramping it up to over $8 billion in 25-26.
I'm a man, I could do two things at once. Go on.
They want the intentions is to bring pretty much a $10 daycare to all the parents, and this is across Canada. They're using obviously the Quebec model for that, which is pretty cool. I mean, we have a very unique system over here. There's $7.5 billion for education and retraining. There's been close to 300,000 Canadians since March that have gone into the unemployment. So most of them they're aged between 15 and 29. So obviously it's because of the pandemic. So they want to boost that. So they want to get people educated and retrained to enter the labor force, the working force.
Can I ask you something, George? I don't know if you have any statistics on this, but a lot of people have been furloughed. Others have been forced to work from home. So let's say jobs they were doing downtown at the office, they're now doing at home, and they've become almost call center employees. You know what it is? You're at home and you're on the computer. Are companies actively looking to replace their current employees? It might be harder in Quebec because we speak French, but with Indian or any other outsourced company, because it's cheaper for them, since people are working from home anyway, to just outsource to the third world.
Look, don't mistake working from home and customer service. I mean, the companies that are heavily involved in customer service have already outsourced much of their services.
Yeah, I'm saying the companies that didn't have to do it before, and now they got jobs that you could just do from home, even if it's accounting.
But specifically in customer service, because people are working from home just because they're working from home. So yes, they're on the phone and they're on Zoom or whatever, but it's not because they're doing necessarily customer service. So I don't think they would have to go.
No, that's what I'm saying is now they're doing it for customer service. But what if it's not just for customer service? You have for tasks during the day, because you're not in office no more, right? And you could send those tasks to someone in the third world. I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying that's what companies tend to do. Companies tend to outsource when they can. And right now, if you're not operating an office, you have to see people every day. You're just
But they're also saving a
shipping
ton
out.
of money.
What do you mean?
They're already saving money now because they don't have the overhead of the office.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to save all kinds of money.
They're downsizing. It's going to be permanent.
For 2 employees here, they could probably staff a team of 15 in India.
Yeah, but it's not as if they can replace what your wife does by outsourcing it to some other country. Like,
they probably could.
You don't know what
no
his wife does.
Her, but maybe not her job, but like her team could easily be outsourced.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, people could be outsourced. I've been thinking about it. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to happen either. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying it's possible theoretically to happen. The only real issue becomes time change. Because of
they don't care.
Because of the kind of clients they deal with.
They don't care. In the Philippines and stuff, they work whatever time you need them to work. They adjust their schedule to you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of her clients that she deals with, she'll tell me, she goes, they're like accounts payable or whatever it is. I don't even know what it does. Is in like India. She goes, so it's like it's a nightmare to deal with them because they don't really know what the fuck's going on. They've never had on the job training properly. They're just like, we can't. No, we're not going to pay this because we don't know who you are.
Yeah, but even them, imagine they've people are outsourcing like crazy. I know people who own software companies, and a lot of it is being outsourced.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
look, the budget. They're focusing a lot on businesses as well. They want to provide investment incentives and support for technology to adopt a bigger technology. Hiring incentives and additional funds for aerospace and life sciences. They're putting a fund for research, innovation, and for entrepreneurs. There's a new spending on green infrastructure and broadband internet. We're talking about $16 billion just for these initiatives. There's something cool about the elderly. This budget includes many spending initiatives that are focused on improving the outcome for disadvantaged Canadians. These obviously include old age security benefit. It includes old age security benefits. So we're talking about over $11 billion for that age group. They enhanced the Canada Workers Benefit by $9 billion. They want to send more money for communities, including for affordable housing, money for Indigenous communities. So they pinpointed a bunch of groups that they consider disadvantaged, and they're just dumping money. It's not a bad look. The budget isn't so bad. It's just so much money.
Where's it coming from?
You know what it is? They're like, look, man, we owe everything now. Let's just spend.
I mean, look, the federal debt to GDP ratio, it'll reach about 50%. I mean, we were at around 30% before the pandemic, and even that was considered high usually. And I'm not an economist, I don't know, but normally, you should be around between 22 and 25% is considered normal, I guess. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows this. So already 30% before the pandemic was at an alarming state. We're going to be at 50% now. All these things are good, obviously. I think they're changing the whole model and there was an article I read about that on Thatcherism and Reagan, where they focused a lot more on saving the state from debt and creating more revenue. So like less government and all that stuff. Yeah. And they're doing the complete opposite. They're injecting much more money than ever before, and they're changing the whole model. They're like, listen, it's up to the government. It's the government's responsibility.
That's not a good model, for the record, George.
You just randomly say
I'm not saying it's a good or a bad model. I'm just saying that since the very beginning of the Trudeau years in 2015, we're stuck in this kind of mentality where the government is just going to be pumping out money.
Has it been that long for Trudeau?
Trudeau's been, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's been so
So I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it. I mean, we don't know what the hell is going to happen. And at the same time, I think they're betting a lot more on the economy kicking in
here's the threat, because now it looks. So I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or if it's just a result of what's happening. But with the lockdown measures and with private businesses closing down because of the lockdowns, okay, and the big box stores and the big malls allowed to stay open, the big companies, it looks like effectively they're eliminating an entire class of people. It looks like slowly we're getting rid of the middle class, and the businesses that remain are the big businesses, and then the class that can work for the big businesses. It's like slowly a huge portion of the middle class, the entrepreneurs, are getting sideswiped. But money shouldn't be going to the big box stores, shouldn't be going to the government, should be going to protect the entrepreneurs and the middle class to keep our economy rolling and being innovative. Because, Walmart, it's good to have a Walmart. I don't know how much
sense that makes, because the majority of the people, they work for small and medium-sized companies, not for big companies.
But there we go.
That's what he's saying.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's agreeing with
That's exactly what I'm saying. So if you attack the small or medium size, you're effectively eliminating that class, because then they drop a class and they have to work for the big companies only.
I feel like we've had this exact deja vu.
You have to protect that middle, the small to the medium to large businesses, like the small to medium rather businesses. You have to protect them.
Of course.
I mean,
and that's not what we're doing now. We're attacking them and we're protecting the big.
But at the same time, we can't just overtax
the scary thing in this whole situation. I mean, the two last years, a cumulative deficit. We're not talking about debt here. Okay, like you can expect a country's debt to be high, but a deficit of over $500 billion is enormous. And that is going to trickle down to the provinces, because even the provinces now have huge deficits, which obviously add on to their debt. But forget about the debt for the moment. It's difficult, and we've spoken about this in other episodes. It's almost impossible for me to think how we're going to get through this without increased taxation or without interest rates going fucking skyrocketing.
Interest rates will skyrocket eventually. I mean, that's no one's questioning that. We just don't know when it's going to happen.
So I'm telling you, the next year isn't going to be fucking pleasant. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't want to foreshadow negativity or whatever, but I mean, both governments, and we're talking about us here in Quebec. So at the provincial level and at the federal level, both governments came out with a budget with no tax increase. I'm not in favor of tax increases here. I'm just saying that there's two governments that are just dumping in money, and I get it. You have to get the economy running again, but someone needs to pay for these things at some point, right? And I don't know. I don't know what next year has in store for us, but I don't know, guys. I don't see how that looks positive in any way.
It doesn't. I mean, you're probably right. Unfortunately, you're most likely right on the nose, which I rarely say. It's going to be
Let's move on to our beautiful province over here, the Parti Québécois, one of the two sovereignist parties here in Quebec. They had their party convention over the weekend. One of the main issues that I want to talk to you about is imposing Bill 101 to CEGEPs. We've spoken about this in other episodes. They brought it to their party convention. They tabled a motion to for the party to support applying 101 Bill 101 to the CEGEPs, and it was voted, it was supported. Like 94% of the people present supported the idea. So just to let everyone know, if this were to be applied by any sitting government, and just by the way, the PQ is currently the smallest of the three opposition parties in the legislature. It's very doubtful anytime soon that they will ever make a government again. But let's assume that they were to make government and they would apply this. It would mean that francophones and allophones would no longer have the right to attend an English CEGEP after completing their elementary or high school education in French. So
for the record, the opposite of what I've been saying is needed to progress in Quebec, to learn both languages. So they would do the opposite. They would set francophones back again.
But here's the thing, because this is not the first time this conversation comes up. Almost every PQ leader since Bernard Landry has faced this challenge, and they've all rejected it because they've realized how important it is for Quebecers to learn and to understand English if they want to excel, not only in Quebec
the global
society,
stage,
but internationally, right? So the PQ leader, his name is Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon. Initially, he had opposed this idea when he was seeking the party leadership, like basically, 6 or 7 months ago. He's flip-flopped now on Saturday, and he agrees with it. Please. And he announced that he plans to make the good use of these results following this the convention.
Imbecilic.
Besides the CEGEP measure, the PQ also wants the CAC.
By the way, George, small side note. For anyone who doesn't know and who isn't Canadian or local, CEGEP is this weird quasi part university, part last year of high school that we have only in Quebec and nowhere else.
Yeah, once you finish high school here, you can go to CEGEP for 2 years and then go to university.
Yeah, like we don't have the 12th grade in high school. It's kind of like a Lyceum.
It's like this buffer zone where you're supposed to kind of think of what you want to do so that when you go to university, you're in your field of study, which doesn't really happen.
It's not a terrible concept. I actually don't mind it.
I know, including myself, right? How many people have gone to university completely lost still?
I went to all the CEGEPs.
I did. You've done them all.
I've done them all. All the English CEGEPs. They all threw me out.
But what I was thinking, besides this measure, what the PQ also wants to do is to force the CAC, which is the government.
You're not supposed to force the
governing
CAC.
party. They want to pressure them to beef up the French testing for Anglophones in CEGEPs, and to extend the charter rules to small businesses with 25 to 49 employees. Look, this is a huge move for the PQ. I mean, like I said before, in the past, they always feared that they would alienate the young Francophone voters who want the option of an English CEGEP to better prepare themselves for the business world, which often requires more English, like we know. And again, I mean, this doesn't really come as a surprise. I mean, this debate comes at a time where we've spoken about this before. The CAC, the government is preparing a series of reforms to beef up the language laws and the language charter. The minister responsible for the French language, Simon Jolin Barrette, he says that he wants to table a bill before the end of the legislature, which is before the summertime. And he says that there's going to be robust means to shore up the French language. So, I mean, it's unclear what the future holds for this idea. I know that the Premier Legault said, I think it was back in February or February, that he's opposed to the idea of applying the French language charter to the English CEGEPs. What he said, I don't know if you guys remember when we spoke about this, is that he's considering limiting enrollment in the system as a way to restrict access, which is even dumber. I mean, both of these. I mean, how can you impose to any English CEGEP?
Like, hold my beer. I got this, PQ.
Like to limit the number of enrollment just because.
I mean, at what point does this stop being a fucking issue? Like, at what point do they realize? I don't mean all Quebecois people, like francophones. I mean, like the sovereignists, the ones who are fighting this war, this battle, whatever you want to call it, this holy war of theirs.
The bataille.
I mean, look, strategically.
At what point do they realize that this doesn't make sense anymore?
Well, it doesn't make sense to you.
How many generations does it take?
But don't forget one thing, right? These guys have their clientele. They want votes. They want to get into the.
Yeah, it's all about votes.
I'm also talking about their
clientele. It's not about the damage. It's all personal. It's all, I want to win the election. It's not about the damage it would do to Quebec.
Yeah. So, like in French, it's called le cheval de bataille. Like this is going to become like what they're going to be.
The battle horse.
Yeah, the battle horse. And look, it might gain support or it might completely flop. I mean, they have single-handedly picked out an element where they're different with the CAC on this. it affects the French language and it affects the promotion of the French language to a different extent than what the CAC is doing. And I think they're getting prepared for next year's election, and this is exactly what they're going to be hammering on. I told you guys.
By the way, teaching French people English, French people learning English does not diminish.
No, of
French.
course not. That's what I was saying.
It's such a crazy argument.
Anyway, on another note, since we're dealing with the province of Quebec, I don't know if you guys remember Bill 21, which was passed in 2019.
The no Muslim bill, I remember.
Yeah, this is the law on the state's state secularism. Basically,
the no face covering.
Exactly.
And now we're all covering our faces.
To ban all religious symbols from people of authority and people working in public spaces like teachers, police officers, judges, and
except
that
the
cross,
right? We're keeping the cross in the Assemblée Nationale.
That
one stays though.
But why wouldn't that? Hold on a second. But why wouldn't that stay?
Because you're picking and choosing which symbols you're keeping.
But I'm agreeing with you. But it's fine
because no new symbols.
Yeah,
because
that is what the nation is. Like I can't have them put an Orthodox cross.
But that's not what the law says. The law says no religious symbols.
I get it. No, I get it.
You want to keep your own,
but I'm just saying
write it that way.
I can't comment on that because historically, no, you can't because historically that's what they had.
I'm not commenting on the cross. I'm commenting on the law. The law says no religious symbols. If you want to keep
people of authority
or in any places of government.
As far as I understood, is when they work in places of government, people of authority.
So you have teachers, judges, police officers.
It's not the symbolism on the wall or when you walk in.
George.
No, there are symbols, but I mean in the thing it talks about people of authority.
People wearing them
on their person.
On their person.
I mean, look, that's a huge debate. I mean, the argument that they're hiding behind is the fact that it represents the province's history, and because.
But why is there an argument if it's not affected by the bill?
Because people are just saying, well, I'm not allowed to wear, let's say, my yarmulke. Why is there a cross on the wall, for example? But the cross on the wall that's what this nation is.
Yarmulke's not allowed either.
So you can't. I don't think so.
No, it's a religious symbol.
Yeah.
So
what if you wear a hat over it?
No. This is big. So basically, it went to court. The Quebec Superior Court. They came out saying that they will maintain Bill 21 with a few exceptions. Okay. The English school commissions don't abide by it, and the elected members of parliament. I'll tell you why those two have been singled out. Now, in his statement, the judge of the Superior Court, Marc-André Blanchard, he did note that the bill does violate our fundamental rights, but since the government has opted to use the notwithstanding clause, he was forced to keep the bill valid. He has no choice. So that's like this dumb thing that provinces could use if they think that it protects their minorities. So here's why.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Why are government? You said people in parliament are exempt from this.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Because I find that fucking wrong. You're telling me that if you're an elected official in parliament, let's say you're a lady, you could wear your hijab, but if you're a school teacher, you can't have that job if you're wearing it. The government is a special class. Fuck that shit, bro.
Well, here's what happens. The English school boards, basically, it's because linguistic rights are guaranteed in the Canadian Charter and are therefore not included in the notwithstanding clause. So automatically, you can't use the notwithstanding clause and apply it on something that is protected by the Canadian Charter. So automatically, it's singled out. Also, the same thing for elected members. The Canadian Charter protects democratic rights and the rights to run for elections and to sit in Parliament. So, to that effect, you can't have someone.
No, it makes sense. But what I'm saying is, you guys don't find it strange that we're going to apply that? Like their rights are protected because they work for the government. But your right as a teacher, you are not protected.
You're still working for the government.
It makes absolutely no sense. And Premier Legault came out yesterday and said that we will be appealing the decision of the Superior Court because we cannot have a society that works on two speeds. The values that we impose should apply to everyone. And we can't just have categories of citizens.
I disagree with what he wants to do, but I agree with what he said. Like, that makes sense. We can't have two categories of citizens.
The question I have is then why pass this bill altogether? Yeah. I mean, it's a divisive bill.
I've never understood why they wanted the bill. I really don't understand its purpose, what it's like. My daughter's teacher wears a hijab.
Yeah.
Okay? My daughter's never
You stop that shit right now.
Never even mentioned it to me. She doesn't even see it.
That's okay, bro. That's not the argument here. That's not what we're talking about.
But I'm saying is, so what's the danger? Like, what are they trying to remove?
So here's the thing. The reason why this doesn't make sense is because when they first applied this, when they first talked about it, the example they used didn't make sense. Do you remember this, George? We talked about this. The example they used was a woman in full burqa. Imagine if she pulls you over, she's a cop and you can't see the face, or the work of the government.
That happened back in 2014.
Yeah, but there are no way. If you're wearing a full burqa, you're not a police officer. Fuck, your husband's not letting you out of that house.
You're talking about Bill 64. This was passed by the Liberals in 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
That was giving or receiving services, public services with your face uncovered. That to me makes sense. You're not banning the headscarves or religious symbols. You're just saying that if you are giving a service, a public service, or if you're receiving it, your face needs to be uncovered. I mean, it makes no sense that I don't know who I'm talking to.
Exactly, but the burqa argument of, well, what if it's a religious thing and they're wearing the burqa? People who wear the full burqa aren't doing those jobs. And it wasn't a real problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly. But this time around, I mean, how many teachers are Muslims? How many nurses are Muslims wearing the headscarf? You mentioned Jews with a kippah.
the yarmulke. I think kippah is not the right term.
The kippah.
Either one, I think, is
it?
Yeah.
Both okay?
Yeah. So look, it doesn't make sense. And your first reflex was to defend Legault, saying, "Yeah, I mean, we need to have the same thing, same rights for everyone. We can't have."
Whoa! Time out! I didn't defend him.
He defended
I specifically said I agree with what he's saying, but it's bullshit.
Sense.
Because we shouldn't have two classes, but he's actually doing the opposite.
Yeah, I don't like the two classes thing.
Exactly.
I was just pointing out how dumb it is.
I'm just giving you an example of how easily things could be spun, right? It's like, we can't have two categories. We're gonna appeal this. You're coming out as the hero now, Premier Legault, defending our rights. Meanwhile, dude, your fucking bill is wrong. You know what I mean? That's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know people who it's gonna affect, like when it goes into like teachers who are gonna lose jobs. It doesn't make sense.
It's already applied. Teachers have been
where
fired.
it happened.
People have lost their jobs, right, Mr.
I don't know if there was like a grandfather clause, but I think the new teachers that came in had to remove it or not take the job.
That's crazy.
It's horrible.
And keep in mind that everything that I'm saying right now against this, I also disagree with the idea of a hijab. That's not the point. That's besides the point. Like, I think it's a weird custom, but it's not for me to decide. It's not for the government.
It's not even a custom.
A hijab is not so bad, man. It's a headscarf. Your Greek grandmother goes to church and wears our version of a hijab.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, she doesn't.
I don't care. Yeah, Greek grandmothers wear that.
Not mine.
Not yours. But
They only do that when they're widows. My grandfather's
or the niqab.
What?
I can't find any articles about women getting fired from schools, but there's like articles that they've withdrawn their application.
Yeah, and they withheld promotion.
They wouldn't pass. Yeah, no. So I don't know, man. This whole thing is messed up. I don't know how long it'll take now for the thing to go to appeal and for that decision to be rendered. I have no idea, but. My guess is that this is probably going to come around again next year during the elections again. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how long these takes, but for sure it'll probably.
But if you go by these laws, that means that if you are the best teacher, but you wear a yarmulke or a scarf, we would lose you unless you remove your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that insane? Don't we want the best of the best?
Yeah. But remember when this whole topic came out, I remember there was this huge publicity thing done in Ontario where they had like these huge banners, and they had Muslim women with their headscarves and Jewish men with their kippahs, and they're like, "We don't care what's on your head, we care what's in your head. Come to Ontario." It was amazing.
I think it's all dumb. However, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. Especially if you're the best person for the job, that cannot be the be all end all. You know, that's insane to me. That it's one level away from, he's a good teacher, but he's black. It's one level away from that. It's such an arbitrary, meaningless thing to the actual job. You know what I mean? If this woman's the best teacher, she's good with kids, she's patient, she teaches them a lot, but she wears the headscarf. You think I give a fuck about the headscarf?
You know, the other problem is, guys, the fact that this issue only affects the society that lives in the greater Montreal region.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere else in Quebec that you go, they don't care. They don't know the difference. They probably don't even have Muslims or very few Muslims. So this problem really doesn't affect all of Quebec. It affects the big cities, right? I mean, that's where they are, and it's just crazy to me how the government is taking a decision, protecting pretty much whatever region has absolutely no clue about any of this. I mean, if you've worked with the Muslims, or if you had Muslim teachers or nurses or whatever, you know that there's no fucking big deal. You know what I mean? What is the big deal? I mean, I've worked and I've dealt with the Muslim communities.
Again, the cases that they try to bring up were extreme cases that are not the everyday, and they use that as an excuse.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know what to say. I think of these communities. I know them. I worked with them, like I said, and it just doesn't make sense. People don't understand them. I mean, this is the big issue. There's this huge gap between what the reality is and what people think of Muslims across Quebec. I mean, it's such a vast territory. And like I said, people out in Sept-Îles or fucking Abitibi, I mean, how many Muslims have they seen? How many women wearing a headscarf have they seen or worked with? You know what I mean? There's a problem with education in Quebec on these specific issues, I find.
I think they're just using it as an excuse so we have something to debate and talk about. We don't realize that we're adults with a curfew at 8 p.m.
I mean, this pre-exists. It predates the curfew.
No, now it's the curfew. But this is always stuff they use to make the public debate and argue while they pass dumb things.
Although I agree with you that they do that.
First.
There's a protest May. There's always a protest May 1st. It's May Day.
For the curfew.
No, there's a protest for everything on May Day. You're going to have different people protesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have communists protesting. You're going to have everything. It's May Day.
I once went to Quebec City on like a weekend trip with Anna and on May 1st, and we got like stuck in our hotel because there was a massive protest in the square under our hotel. We're like, God damn it. I shouldn't have stayed in St. Luc. But no, I think, although I agree with you that they do stuff like that, well, they'll create a fake debate. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think this is like a deep vein of xenophobia that runs through Quebec society. I really don't feel like it's
I don't think so.
A distraction.
I don't think so because I see people debate. Most of the people are like, I just care if the person's good. I don't give a shit what they're wearing. If they're like,
yeah, the people that you interact with here in the metropolis.
I have a lot of fans, especially French ones in Quebec rural areas, Abitibi.
Again, those are your fans.
Yeah.
People who like the things you say, who are fans of yours, probably aren't racist assholes.
Look,
You know
I'm
what I
not,
mean?
guys. I'm not big on conspiracy theories or anything like that. But when you look at the Quebec electoral map and you see where Legault gets elected, and where like who this bill will affect mostly,
completely disproportionate.
You know what I mean? You kind of get your answer there. He doesn't care. He's giving into his clientele. You know what I mean?
I like
it's
how
like
you
this
call
whole
them that, George.
Clientele.
Yeah, Pelatis.
Pelatis.
I mean, who cares?
Not wrong.
He's not.
I mean, think about it. It's going to affect people living in Montreal, Laval, South Shore, like the greater Montreal area, Sherbrooke, a little bit, maybe Quebec City, maybe not. And that's pretty much it. All regions where Legault doesn't get elected. You know what I mean?
That's kind of funny, though. That's like a fuck you.
It brings
He's
back
like, you
that
don't want to
old,
elect me? I'm going to fuck up your shit.
Yeah.
You know? I don't
It brings back that old should Montreal separate from Quebec debate. Remember that?
Oh, like
how it's
just
so different from
the island?
rest of Quebec, yeah.
There was I don't know if I told you guys this.
Let's blow the bridges.
And I'm not sure if I
Well, not
remember
like
it exactly as it was, but last
Let's
time there
blow
was
the
a
bridges. Okay, I'll
referendum
get on my knees.
What?
in 95 when there was the last referendum, and you know it was really a close one, right? And there was all these debates happening and all this analysis. I remember seeing this on TV. I was too
Yeah,
young,
me
obviously,
too.
to understand, or I had no interest in
I
politics.
had a little like with the fleur de lis and the maple leaf, and I was so scared. I thought they were gonna make us leave. I was like, why?
Yeah, exactly. So
My dad's like, we're not leaving. Relax.
there was, and I remember watching this on TV. There was all these analysts talking about, okay, well, Quebec is going to separate from Canada, but what part of Quebec needs to separate? I mean, what was Quebec when it joined the federation,
remember
and
this, yeah.
was it the same as it is today?
Oh,
If
yeah.
it was-
Chrétien did this.
Like there was I think it was Chrétien that was talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure how valid
Lower
the argument
Canada.
is now. I would have to go back and see exactly what he was referring to.
I'll tell you what
But
it was
back
referring
then-
to. The
But back then,
charter.
when I was listening to him, I was like, so essentially it just means all of Quebec except for Montreal. That's what it was when they joined the federation, right?
No, Montreal was part of
so
Lower
are we
Canada.
staying part of Canada and the rest will separate? Like, what the hell's going on over here? It was so confusing.
Because Montreal wasn't the metropolis that everyone knows today at the beginning. Like Quebec City was more important because it was closer to the Delta, right?
It was. I remember I saw the map.
It was like whatever was considered Lower Canada, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like
Well, Montreal it straddled the border of Lower and Upper Canada. No, like it was like I don't remember.
What's weird about Lower Canada? It's not actually up or down depending on how you look at it.
No, I know. I just did that like as a separator.
So, G, what are the news you got for us, man?
All right, guys, let's go to Montreal. Some stuff happening over here.
Oh shit!
There was a huge debate happening at Montreal City Council to allow
You forgot.
what do you call it? Mail-in votes for the upcoming election. So there's elections coming up in.
I don't like mail-in
Have
votes.
we learned nothing? We have
in
email.
November.
This feels like a deja vu.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a motion so that they could debate whether or not the Montreal administration would allow people over 70 years old to send in their vote by mail. It was it was blocked, so that didn't pass. And they claim that it's mostly because of logistic reasons. They had specialists from Elections Montreal going into the city council, and they had this whole presentation on how it would be complicated right now to impose whatever means are necessary for these individuals to vote by mail. The funny thing is that since last March, so this year, the Quebec government, they passed a bill in the House to allow mail-in votes for any municipality that made the request. We know that Laval, the city of Laval, has already requested that they would use that measure so that they could
maybe they shouldn't, George. Based on my ticket experience, they're not good at this.
Yeah, they're not good at receiving mail.
Like
I don't like mail-in votes. I think it's stupid.
No.
But mind you, this isn't the city of Laval that takes care of it, right? It's the elections officers. So it's the.
I guess.
Yeah, there's never been scandals with them.
Who's in charge of Laval now, Vaillancourt? Is he still around? Or
No,
am I, like,
he's
10
in
years
jail.
off? Oh, he's in jail, right? I forgot. Yeah. It's true. Fucking, who's the mayor of Laval?
But here it's Marc Demers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was that Greek guy.
So here's the problem now. I remember specifically in 2020, last year, there was a by-election at the beginning of the year in Saint Leonard at the municipal level, and the opposition, Ensemble Montréal, had requested that the administration implement a pilot project because we were already in a pandemic, right? So they had thought, look, guys, why don't we impose certain measures now since we have a by-election? We'll be able to run it and to see if it works and to see how effective it is and to see how we can expand it maybe all over the island. Let's use that by-election as a pilot project. And even then, they said, no, we don't need that, blah, blah, blah. And now they're coming saying, oh, well, we don't have time to implement anything. It's too short of a period of time. It's too complicated. The logistics are too complicated to impose right now. And everyone is like pulling their hair in Montreal at the city council. They're like, we were telling you this last year to start doing it so that we can have time, enough time to have everything prepared for these elections coming. I don't know, man. I mean,
I don't like mail-in voting.
Look, if you're over 70 years old, if you're vulnerable, if this pandemic is still going on in November and you don't want to come out, why is it such a bad thing?
Only such a bad thing because
we use mail-in votes at the provincial level. Things work smooth. Everything, there's
Do they though? Because every time there's an election, you always have the whole, well, this person's been dead. This lady who's fucking 80, she voted 3 times for someone, and then when you ask her, she's like, I didn't even know I voted. Like, what do you talk? Who voted for me? Oh. That's why I'm saying I don't like it, because I want to keep things clean and honest. So until they figure out a method to make sure there's no fuckery, I don't trust it.
Yeah, all of a sudden our population of elderly people has quadrupled.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of the blue, bro. We were hiding old people.
It's not only the seniors. Right? Anyone can vote.
By mail. Anybody can vote, George. It takes a real man to vote wrong.
I mean, look, I've done so many campaigns. You have no idea how well organized these things are, right? I mean, you get your voter card, there's your number, you apply, they send you the thing at home, and then you send it back. Like, I mean, it's very detailed. You can even vote from abroad. I mean, if you're like traveling to Greece and during an election campaign, there's ways for you to get everything mailed to you over there so that you can vote. I understand the whole premise of, well, how do you know who that person is? What if he's dead? His daughter is calling in to say, well, we're going to
that's what I'm saying.
But anyone can do that, even in person. If you have the right prosthetics, you can walk in with your trench coat, your 3 kids standing on each other's shoulders. You're like, I'm Mr. Smith, here to vote today. It happens. I've seen it in cartoons. Fucking DuckTales.
Or like the New York Times wrote about the whole American election. They fucked around, but it's just called securing the vote. It's not fraud if we're securing the vote for who we want to win.
What else did they say? They're protecting democracy. Protecting democracy.
That was the best. Did you ever read that New York Times article?
I did.
God damn, I've never seen anything so
just
fucked
thinking
up.
of the New York Times, the National Post article I read yesterday that says the vaccine's giving people herpes.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
That can't be true.
We
would have heard about that.
Yeah. It was all over the place yesterday. I was just thinking how they just write random headlines.
You have to read the articles. Yeah.
Look at Phil. He sent us this article where it said that the Premier Legault came out and said that there are more youngsters hospitalized and we got to be careful.
That's complete bullshit.
That wasn't me. That was you.
I didn't send that. I sent people telling Legault to stop lying. That's what I sent you guys.
He was immediately corrected and disproved by all sorts of media. They're like, yes, it's true that youngsters can very easily be hospitalized when faced with COVID, but the number of hospitalization is not significantally higher now than during
George,
the previous waves.
I found a bunch of data. We were discussing it yesterday, but because Rogers was down, we couldn't get our texts out to you, so he just called me and we were talking about it.
Yeah.
We looked at the numbers. I mean, it's insignificant. The difference. And also,
dude,
if you take into account that most of the people who are at the highest risk of getting infected and going to the hospital are now either dead or vaccinated, there's less of them getting it.
There's a lot of fear mongering still happening.
So if you look at the ratios, you have more young people going because the old people,
they went. They're done.
Yeah,
exactly. They
a lot of fear mongering still happening.
I'm not saying you can't get sick from it. I'm just
saying
you're not at a new risk of
you're not. But it's a lot of fear mongering.
Except for this New Delhi variant. Anything coming out of New Delhi, I'm suspicious of.
I prefer old Delhi.
There's a New Delhi variant?
Yeah. There's India's getting fucking. They're having a massive wave now.
I love how each variant targets specific age groups.
No, it doesn't. No one's ever said that.
No one's ever said that.
No.
Well, now they're saying younger people, the new variant. And
you weren't listening at all, huh?
No, that's a misconception because they're saying there's a new variant and now it also looks like young people. But then you look at the stats and you're like,
but they do spin it. But he's a great example of someone who read it and got confused.
Yeah.
They're making it sound like the variants are attacking 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Your dick's going to stop working. It's not because you have diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease and you're overweight. It's COVID.
I know Twitter took it down, but if you could find the James O'Keefe, the hidden camera thing when he was talking with the CNN producer when he didn't know it was on camera and he was admitting to he even said he even called it propaganda. He goes, we do this propaganda. Why do you think the numbers we put when we fudge the numbers, we put the death tolls, we're doing it to scare dude, it's for ratings. It's sensationalism.
When I was in film school and they started teaching us about broadcast video production, the first class was if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
If it's terrifying, if it's scary, if people are dying, people will watch it.
The terrifying music, remember the skull? Dude, that's what fucked with me. It's the beginning when they had the skull and they were doing the numbers. Bro, I was terrified.
Bro, is this a fucking news report?
I was terrified.
Or the club from Blade?
John Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins.
Whatever.
What are you talking about, Johns Hopkins?
It was the Johns Hopkins University webpage that had the skull and everything.
No, I'm talking about the news showing it, not you going to...
the news, okay.
Yeah.
No, but you're right, man. I mean, the other day I was listening because I listened to French radio, so but like they had this this kind of promo to kind of sensitize people on COVID, and the dramatic music, dun dun dun, and then it's like, "Are you worried about COVID-19?
You might die."
What the hell is this shit, man?
Is your dick feeling flaccid, coughing, gay?
But the music, dude, like all this drama. What? I don't know, man. Scary
I didn't
time.
ask you to pull anything up.
He just didn't pull
Oh
it
no,
up. He pulled out
I
his
was
dick.
looking at the James O'Keefe.
Oh.
Yeah, look at it after when you're done, bro.
When you're done producing this show, Poseidon, which is soon enough. It's all fucking, I don't know what to believe anymore. It's just chaos. We had a whole conversation about it yesterday on the two of us.
It's just what I don't like
nothing's
is
changed.
Just don't lie. I don't like the lies. Like already we're going through something here right now. You don't have to scare people more.
But like that herpes thing I told you about.
That's fear mongering.
That's fear mongering of the worst possible kind.
Because now you're getting people confused. People that wanted to get vaccinated are scared to get herpes.
So here are the facts about the herpes article. Varicella, like the chicken pox, is called herpes zoster, right? No, it's called varicella. Shingles, which is caused by a reaction.
Shingles is scary.
Shingles not scary. It's just very painful.
Yeah, shingles.
You're not gonna die from it though.
No,
Like,
but it's fucking
it
scary.
sucks.
You could be
Sucks.
out for like a month or two. Like
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
So people who have rheumatoid arthritis or very specific autoimmune diseases who have gotten the Pfizer vaccine, within a few weeks they've developed shingles.
Yeah.
And these people, they have to have had these rheumatic diseases, and they also have to have had chickenpox and no vaccine for shingles. That's a very specific
Yeah, that's a
subsection.
very specific. Yeah.
But when it's called herpes zoster, right? But when they published it, they said vaccine, mRNA vaccines causing herpes. That was the headline.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. It's not even close to being true. So I just, like, it's irresponsible. Like, the only vaccines that seem to be safe so far that don't have these, like, blood clot issues, they're like, it's going to give you an STD. And then you have people like Poseidon who would read that and say, well, I'm not getting that. Meanwhile, he's raw dogging around town during a pandemic.
Yeah.
So, like, the vaccine scares you.
I don't raw dog.
You eat ass?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish this camera was on. He's like this, guys. Like, give me a close up. You got it? I don't raw dog. You eat ass? Yeah.
That was
That's
exactly
what he did.
it.
It's
different.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's just as bad.
No, it's not.
Shingles.
Just
Sorry,
the
I don't think you get shingles from eating butts, but it's
No,
still,
but you can get tingles from it.
yeah, you get tingles. Not shingles.
Tingles.
You don't.
Then you're doing it wrong.
If you're careful, whose ass you eat.
I don't know what this conversation is about anymore.
If you're careful,
You don't get tingles.
if you're careful.
Does it make you feel tingly when you eat it?
You don't enjoy
Yeah,
it?
you don't enjoy it.
Are you forced to eat people's asses?
Are they hurting you?
Oh no, the girl enjoys it. The chick enjoys it.
You know what happened? Poseidon got aggressive, and he's not listening to what anyone's
yeah.
saying.
He's in defense
He's replying to questions that were never asked.
I didn't rape her. I asked if
Yeah.
she liked it. What?
Poseidon, you having fun
Force her?
producing over there? He's like, what are you talking about? I never touched her.
Bro, she messaged me on MySpace. I don't know. Thought she was dead.
Oh shit.
Oh, good time.
So
Yeah,
no
oh,
shingles.
shit, yeah, no shingles.
Sorry, we derailed you, G. Carry on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to
That's
sing
all I
into
have
my
for you guys.
microphone.
I'm
That's all you
curious
have? That's
to
it?
see what's
You're
gonna happen with the
fucked.
mail-in votes. I mean,
Nothing's gonna happen.
Look, I think it's a good idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of logistics you need to put in place. I mean, it already
I'm sorry,
exists
George,
provincially. You
George,
can just
hold on.
copy paste it
Hang on.
for the people at the municipal level. So I don't understand what the
94% of us, or so, I'm making up statistics now, I don't know. At least 90% of us in this society have these little devices in our hands that are fucking bio-encrypted to our faces or fingerprints. You telling me we can't figure out a way for these to secure voting? Like mail is still the best way? I don't know.
But that's just as dangerous, no?
It's all dangerous. It's
all
all
dangerous,
dangerous.
bro.
It's all dangerous. I just choked on my own spit.
Yeah, what's
Sorry.
not dangerous about any of this?
I mean, at some point you just say, okay, look, this
This is a new way of doing things.
Yeah. Chip me already.
I mean, you do your banking online,
Yeah, that's true.
fucking get your birth certificate, request that
you
stuff.
do everything online.
Yeah, pay tickets, contest them,
And I mean,
watch pornography. I know what you do online.
so do they. So do they.
Could you imagine the FBI agent that's watching Poseidon's camera? He's looking at Poseidon
It can
furiously.
either
I
go
have a
one,
li- I
one
have a
of two
lid on
ways.
it.
He's watching Poseidon furiously masturbate, and the guy's like, he's like, why are you mad? You see all these people jerk off. He's like, but this guy's watching bananas in pajamas. It doesn't make any sense.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Pajamas.
I don't know what's turning him on. The bananas? The pajamas? The fact that they're talking and singing? I don't know what's turning him
Or is it
on.
the fact that they're two men in striped pajamas.
Yeah, is it the stripes? Is he turned on by prison? I don't know what's
Maybe
happening.
he's just a fucking
The
anti-Semite.
fact that I'm also wearing my striped shirt at the same time.
Oh yeah, he has the same shirt as bananas in pajamas. Yeah, a fan noticed that and sent it in.
Yeah, that's the photo shoot I did with him. The Kramer photo shoot.
Yeah.
We gotta blow that picture up. He's grotesque in it, but beautiful.
He's grotestical.
No, you edited. You edited the pictures. So
I didn't change anything about your face. I just popped the contrast
Yeah,
ratios.
your
a
face
little.
still looks the same, bro. He doesn't have
The worst
control
part
over
is
how
no
your
one's
face looks.
seen the disgusting photo I took of you that day where you
Yeah,
look
he made
like,
it look nice.
where you look like the guy from X-Men with the tongue, the lizard guy.
Toad?
Toad. He looks like Toad in one of them.
Really?
I
Oh yeah,
could-
the color was off. Yeah.
I could
No.
modify my face to make.
You can
grotesque.
show us some faces while I
Not
find the photo
modify.
from Pantelis.
Fucking facial expressions.
Most of us can.
What do you mean?
But like they're intense.
Yeah, he can modify his face intensely. He's saying
No.
it probably comes from eating ass because you get muscle memory from the third.
I don't think he's eating shit.
No,
I'm
you
not
don't
eating
know.
shit.
You don't know. If you've eaten an ass, you've eaten a bit of shit.
No, you haven't.
Okay. Whatever you say.
No,
buddy.
Poseidon is too disgusted for that
Yeah,
stuff. I
yeah.
think shit. Like I don't know.
No, I'm way too disgusted.
Yeah. I feel like he would throw her out of the house. Oh, sorry, George.
George's face.
George, what's the what? I'm sorry, George. I'll let you continue.
George's face.
George is trying to maintain a small semblance of professionalism while Poseidon is arguing his ass-eating techniques. This is the morning show, ladies and gentlemen.
Tossing salad in the morning.
George, what else you got to bring up before we throw you out?
He has no more news.
I got nothing for you guys.
All right, good. So you know what, George? If he cues the music, I'll tell people where they're going to find you guys.
In Brassard.
Oh, yeah, tropical. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Morning Show. You can also go check out more podcasts. Phil dropped a podcast. Fill My Hole. You haven't dropped the podcast?
I have it, but I'll put it out tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, there you go.
It's coming.
Phil's coming up with a new podcast. Very bad at his job, Phil. Very bad at his job.
I'm good at my main job.
Yeah. Fill My Hole is the podcast. Links in the description. Phil not only fills holes in podcast format, he also creates movies, films, commercials, and the such. So if you need a professional commercial so your garbage business doesn't look like a goddamn high school project anymore, you go no further than Phil Balabanos. Links are in the description. Phil is a professional filmmaker. He'll make your business look like a real business and no longer a fake business that your parents are ashamed of. Phil Balbanos, link in the description. Our newsboy, George Jiggity Chandrizos, coming to us live from the South Shore. He's got 2 hit podcasts. One is the Backstage podcast. His next guest is going to be the lady who's in charge of the Provincial Liberal Party, or as I like to call them,
Maria Sharapova.
propagandists.
What?
So he's bringing her. That's who it is, right?
Maria
the Liberal
Sharapova.
Party? It's not Maria Sharapova.
She changed teams.
So check out the Backstage podcast with George. And if you're not into politics, well, George has something for you. The greatest parenting podcast on the planet. It's Just Us Dads. The podcast that is against moms but loves dads. They talk about their kids, how they raise them. Should their kids be using technology? Should they not be? Funny anecdotal stories about them raising children in the 21st century under these pandemic rules. It's a great show, Just Us Dads, available on YouTube, Spotify, where the hell you get your podcast. Links are in the description. Just Us Dads Backstage Podcast, weekly episodes. Check out George. Help George. Also, our boy Poseidon. Poseidon is on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. He plays video games against children, and most of the time, he gets schooled by these children, but then he gets them back by yelling racial epithets and attacking the sexual orientation of their parents. Twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. Also, Instagram and Twitter, same handle, ThePoseidon69. Follow him. Head over to Patreon.com/Pantelis to get episodes early of all the podcasts we do. Plus, it's the only place you get the video version of In Bed with Poseidon and Annabelle Ilabet.
He's gonna faint.
I'm not gonna faint, I'm fine. And those episodes come out audio only on Spotify and everywhere else every Thursday. Thursday. The Intellectuals are on Thursday nights. What do you want?
Look like George is playing with his
I'm
dick.
doing the plugs. Leave George alone.
So's George.
So every Thursday, the Intellectuals are out. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., new episode of the Intellectuals. Right now, new episode of 2 Drink Minimum comes out in 5 minutes. 2 Drink Minimum, 5 minutes. Great episode. We talked about Derek Chauvins. Thank you guys for watching this, and go fuck yourselves.